have played 271 games in the 2024 NFL season. The final game, number 272, might be the best one we've had all year. The Minnesota Vikings and Detroit Lions, both 14-2, tied for first place in the NFC North. Not only that, they're tied for the best record in the NFC. That means the winner of this game gets a first round bye in the playoffs and home field advantage until the Super Bowl. The loser will start the playoffs on the road as the 5th seed. One of the Vikings' 2 losses came earlier in the season to these Lions, who beat them 31-29 in a nail-biter in Minnesota. Detroit had a 44-yard field goal, 15 seconds left to clinch the win. But a lot has changed since then, primarily with the Lions, whose defense has been ravaged by injuries. At one point this year, Detroit was one of the best offensive and defensive teams in the league. Now the Lions are relying on their offense to carry them in shootouts. They've allowed 32.5 points per game in their last 4, with only the Bears falling short of 30. The Lions have relied on some big plays with their defense at times, but they've been generally unable to stop opposing offenses. That's probably not going to change against the Vikings. They have an explosive passing attack and a solid run game with Aaron Jones. Detroit's looking to get some help back at linebacker, with Alex Anzalone returning, but still thin the secondary and pass rush, which sets up well for Minnesota or the Bill at will. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. Once again, I am under the weather. I'm trying to battle this out, but this is the most anticipated game of Week 18. Most of the playoff seeds have been set. The AFC playoff field has been set already. The Chiefs will have the top seed in the AFC and home field advantage throughout the AFC side of the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills will host the Denver Broncos in the 2 versus 7 matchup. The 3 versus 6 matchup being the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the 4 versus 5 matchup being the Houston Texans hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. So most of the field has been settled. The Los Angeles Rams will be the 4th seed and will host the loser of this game. Winner of this game will have home field advantage throughout the NFC side of the playoffs. The Rams will host the loser of this game. The Buccaneers have claimed the 3 seed in the NFC and will host the Washington Commanders. The 2 versus 7 matchup being the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. Lots of exciting matchups throughout. The winner of this game will push the top seed, the NFC North, and a first round bye throughout the playoffs. The loser will be the 5th seed and will travel to Los Angeles. So that is what is at stake here. Not bad either way. And it will be very interesting to see how this goes down. So as we go to the Lions and previewing them for this game. First key is to continue to establish the run early. The goal was to slow down the Vikings' hot starts in games. They've been getting 3-score leads coming into Week 7, which in turn would allow the Lions to stick with their rushing attack and control the pace of the game. For the first quarter, the Lions only had 13 rushing yards, were down 10 points, but in the second quarter, the Lions rushed for 84, with 75 from Jahmyr Gibbs and scored 21 unanswered points. What has changed since then? David Montgomery is on the IR. They'll be without him, but fortunately, Gibbs has stepped up in his absence. And they need to keep him rolling. Maybe even Craig Reynolds, who has been trusted to pick up the slack in the absence of Montgomery. One of the biggest keys to victory in this game will be the Lions' ability to establish the run. It will start with the offensive line. On the season, they've allowed the Lions running backs to gain an average of 1.75 yards before they're contacted by the defense, 6th best in the NFL. For Gibbs in particular, he's averaged 2.5 yards gained before he's been contacted, which is best in the NFL. On the opposite side of the ball, the Vikings allow offenses to gain just 0.94 yards per rush, 3rd best in the NFL, making this a true power versus power situation. There is reason for optimism for the Lions, though. The Vikings allow an average of 88.1 rushing yards against them, 2nd best in the NFL. They did allow 104 to the Packers last week, as well as 144 yards to Detroit in their meeting, with Gibbs accounting for 116, 2 rushing touchdowns, along with 4 receptions for 44 receiving yards. Plus, Gibbs is coming off 2 similar outings. He has averaged 113 rushing yards and a touchdown, with 4 catches for 45.5 receiving yards. Second key is for Jared Goff, the offensive line. They both need preparation and patience here. It worked and didn't work at the same time. It's around the offensive line giving Goff enough time to assess the Vikings defense and in turn make the right decisions with the ball. Goff was sacked 4 times in Week 7. Only 1 sack was credited to the offensive line, being Taylor Decker. They did allow 16 pressures per PFF. Frank Ragnow and Penny Sewell have good games, But Decker, Glasgow, and Coyote Owosika, who replaced Kevin Zeitler in that first matchup, all underperformed. The offensive line could improve their overall success, but it's hard to argue with the results they helped produce. Goff finished the game 22-25 for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns for a quarterback rating of 140, which shows how decisive he has been when he handled the football. What has changed since then? Zeitler is healthy and is now starting at right guard. The Lions' offensive line is back at full strength, so we have seen this offense operate at high levels in recent weeks. Goff was highly efficient last time these two teams met, and there's strong evidence to believe he can replicate success based on his recent performance. Goff has a passer rating of over 100 in his previous 5 games, including 132.4 against the San Francisco 49ers last week and 137 the week before against the Chicago Bears, both of them coming against the road. Ben Johnson said, quote, "The guy was the number 1 pick for a reason. He's been super talented throwing the football, and here he is entering year 9. He's got all these banked reps from LA and now Detroit, and they all add up. The defense is moving slower. He knows where his eyes need to go. He knows what he's trying to do. We're really aggressive at times with what he put on his plate. And he doesn't bat an eye. Really, he embraces it. He came this morning. He's like, hey, load me up. I'm ready to go." So that's what we tried to do, and it's a credit to him. He really wants to be able to control all of it. He's playing so well post-snap. You guys are seeing that. But there's not a lot of appreciation for what he does before the snap with the cadence, the motions, the shifts, the premier plays that we tried to get into at times. That's what's really, I think, makes our offense special. Third is to dial up the interior pressure. The Lions managed 4 sacks in the game. 3 of them came from the linebacker level. Come from Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez, and Trevor Nowaske. And the other from defensive end Josh Paschal. Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader managed to record 5 of the Lions' 15 pressures, but McNeil was kept off the box score sheet. Reader recorded just 2 tackles and a QB hit. The change here is that McNeil is on the IR and potentially out for the year. The Vikings and Lions blitz more than the majority of teams in the NFL. On the year, the Vikings blitz rate is 39.9% of the time, which is the most in the NFL, and they blitzed on 55.2% of the passing plays the last time they played Detroit. The Lions stack up with them. The season blitz average is 36%. But it's worth recognizing they averaged 42.9% since they lost Aiden Hutchinson in Week 6. The extra blitzing has resulted in more pressures per next gen stats. The Lions had 220 on the season, which is 5th most, but the results have still been lackluster, with just 35 sacks on the year, 24th. But the added pressure is a better option than simply letting Sam Darnold sit back and find the open man, like the Packers did last week. And the last part is to win the turnover battle. Did it work for the Lions back then? It's technically a draw, per PrideDetroit.com, the SB Nation side of the Lions. The Vikings, in reality, came out as winners. Brian Branch forced an interception and Montgomery fumbled, which is an even swap in turnovers. A week on paper, Montgomery's fumbles returned for a touchdown, which gave the Vikings the lead with 6 minutes left in the game. But since then, in raw numbers, both teams cooled off a bit in the turnover race. They have forced fewer turnovers since the last time around. They have maintained their status compared to the rest of the NFL. The Vikings are 6th in the NFL with a plus 0.6 turnover margin, while the Lions are still 4th with a plus 0.7 turnover margin. What to adjust? The last 3 games, the Vikings had a turnover margin of plus 0.7, 10th in the league. The Lions are at plus 1, 7th in the league. For that time frame, Amon-Ra St. Brown fumbled once against the Bills. The defense recovered 2 fumbles against the Bears, and Kirby Joseph secured 2 interceptions against the 49ers. Goff does not throw a pick during this period of time. He's thrown just 1 pick in his last 7 games. For the Vikings, Sam Darnold threw just 2 picks in the previous 3 games. Minnesota special teams recovered a fumble against the Bears. The defense secured 2 interceptions against the Seahawks and recovered a fumble against the Packers. For quick hitting for the Lions, so lightning round on their keys. Keep scoring at the average for the Lions. The Vikings scored at least 27 points in their last 4 games, slightly above their season average of 26.4. The Lions have scored at least 34 points over the same time period, slightly over their average of 33.3. But scoring 34 points should be the target. It's worth noting the Lions scored at least 30 points in each of the previous 3 games against Brian Flores' defense in Minnesota. During Flores' time as the Vikings DC, he's only allowed teams to score 30.6 times. The Lions accounted for 3 of those occurrences. Third is that Jahmyr Gibbs needs to be explosive. The Vikings are middle to road, allowing runs of at least 10 yards. The Lions are a top 17 with 63 on the year. Gibbs produces a run of at least 10 yards on 16.3% of his runs, so hitting or exceeding that average would do wonders. And lastly, is to step up on 3rd down. The Vikings have a heavy zone coverage scheme, in zone 77% of the time, And in third and fourth down situations, they shift to man coverage 48.9% of the time. Against man on third and fourth downs, got offensive pass rating of 138.8, the best in the NFL. Now for the Vikings. On their four storylines here, first is the impact of Blake Cashman. He streamlines defensive communication as the green dot, taking on and defeats run blocks in the box and expertly drops his zone coverages. He mugs gaps pre-snap or ties up catches and rushes QBs who have a unique ferociousness. His time split between the Jets, Texans, and Vikings. Minnesota's 13-0 engaged with Cashman. The Lions in Week 7 caught Minnesota during the first of 3 games Cashman missed with a toe injury, but the Minnesota native will be in the lineup on Sunday Night Football. Cashman leads the team with 4 tackles and 63 solo. 5th on the team with 10 hits on QBs and 8 pass defense. 4th with 4.5 sacks and 8 tackles for a loss. Brian Flores said this week that Cashman's natural leadership has a way of bringing people together. When Cashman played, Minnesota allowed 331 yards of offense per game and 83.9 yards on the ground. The unit's been extremely opportunistic, swiping 2.1 takeaways and notching 3 sacks a game. Without him, it allowed 334.7 yards and 106.3 rushing, 1.3 turnovers forced, and 2.3 sacks per contest. Secondly is about fourth down. Coaches were crunching numbers and deciding whether they should risk the biscuit and go for it on fourth down before one of the industry leaders developed a series of tools breaking down outcomes, but the implementation of it acutely stressed a shift in the football world. It does help fans understand the potential rewards of keeping the ball in the QB's hands and leaving punters and kickers in the warm-up zone. Ironically, the NGS decision guide coincided with Dan Campbell being hired by the Lions. Being their head coach, Campbell struck the offense to stay on the field and attempt to convert on fourth down 147 occasions since 2021. They have succeeded 82 such times. Both paced the NFL in that time frame. For comparison, Kevin O'Connell, who was hired in 2022, went for it on fourth down 58 times, converting it 32 times. So Campbell's Lions have converted 55.8% of the time. O'Connell's Vikings 55.2% of the time. In that span, Campbell's group has tried and thrived on 61 of 106. In 2024, Detroit's 20 conversions on fourth ranks third. Minnesota's 6 is dead last. Fortunately, the Vikings have a defense equipped to counteract Campbell's aggressiveness. Minnesota gave up 11 of 31 fourth downs, 35.5%. The stiffest fourth down defense in the league by a fat margin. Baltimore and Detroit are tied for next at 46.2%, both 12 of 26. Fourth and third, and finally, is Justin Jefferson. And that's it, essentially. In his career, Randy Moss compiled 747 receiving yards through 7 games on the road at Detroit. Minnesota's currently a receiver, who has been putting up earth-shattering numbers, Justin Jefferson, has scored 730 in 4 such games. How it looks, he's caught 9 of 12 targets for 133 yards in Week 17 of the 2020 slate. His introduction into the receiving. In Week 13 of 2021, 182-1 via 14 targets. And in Week 14, a year later, Jefferson set the franchise regular season single-game receiving record with 223 yards, nabbing 11 of 15 targets. The encore to that was a spectacular 12-192-1 line by way of 14 passes in Week 18 game last season. That competes to 182.5 receiving yards per game on the Lions' home turf. That, plus his recent string of dominance, 457 yards and 5 touchdowns in his last 5 games. And Detroit's defense being shorthanded because of the injury bug means history could repeat himself. Only Moss, fellow Pro Bowl Hall of Fame split end Raymond Berry, and 3-time Pro Bowl receiver Carroll Dale, who spent the bulk of his 14-year career on the Packers, and his final season with the Vikings, have more receiving yards at Detroit than Justin Jefferson. The next 25 entries on the list, yards ranging from Donald Driver to Stephon Diggs, goes to the likes of Adam Thielen, Chris Carter, and Jerry Rice, amassing their totals in 5 or more games. To get Ian on board here we are, game 272. Winner takes the NFC North. How are we doing today?
Well, to tell you the truth, the weather over here in Kansas City is crap. We have got it's a winter storm over here.
The blizzard, or so I heard.
Oh, yeah. And it's bad, man. It's one of those where even downtown, barely anybody's on the road except for the plows.
Ooh. Hoping everyone is safe over there in Kansas City. I hope you are all safe and sound.
Yep, I'm currently at work, and where I work, I'm in a booth that has a window, and since no one's coming around, I don't have to open it and let the cold air in, which is very appreciated by my coworkers.
Good thing there. Keep everyone safe.
Yes, sir. So, we know the implications for this game, and we also know hilarity happened in the other NFC North matchup earlier today. The Bears.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Packers. You guys lost to the Bears.
That would even so that the fact that the Commanders won earlier on the day makes the Packers fight for the 6th seed irrelevant.
Right, but still.
But still, they lost to the Bears.
You guys lost to the Bears.
And instead of beginning the playoffs on the road at Tampa Bay, they'll be getting the playoffs on the road at Philadelphia.
Yeah.
While Washington will head to Tampa Bay. Los Angeles will host the loser of this upcoming match.
Yep.
And the winner gets home field advantage. AFC playoff field is all set. Buffalo hosts Denver. Baltimore hosts Pittsburgh. And Houston hosts the Chargers. Cincinnati, hoping that the Dolphins and the Broncos will both lose. Well, the Dolphins lost, but the second part, it wasn't complete. The Chiefs, I might be convinced the Chiefs rested their starters out of spite for the Bengals.
I don't know about that. I think it was just wear and tear. Because believe me, Alec, any day that we can ruin the Broncos' day is a day worth earning. But this was purely strategic, and to Bungles fans that might listen to this later, maybe don't lose to the Patriots week 1. You know, just a thought. Maybe don't commit a pass interference on the final play of a game on the 4th down.
And maybe
maybe
don't give up 44 to the Steelers in Week 13.
Exactly.
Look,
just
yesterday aside, I know that I may be resigned to my team's fate in the playoffs, knowing my team is going to collapse. The fact that the Bengals had the passing yards leader, the touchdown receptions leader, and the sacks leader all in the same season, the first time in NFL history that this has happened, and they still missed the playoffs, you have to have a deep look in the mirror, Bengals.
If the Bengals had any competent ownership, they would fire Zach Taylor.
You know that's not happening because it's Mike Brown.
It's Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know he's going to screw something up in Cincinnati. Oh, I guess I can celebrate now. Yay. I'm not really celebrating.
Yeah, because the Steelers go to Baltimore, right? Again.
I mean, we go to Baltimore for the second time, and I feel at this point I'm like, just put us out of our misery.
Although it would be hilarious if somehow the Steelers beat the Ravens.
Come to think of it, it would. I'm not that confident though, but it would be hilarious if we beat the Ravens on the road in the playoffs because of the Ravens' choking habits in the playoffs.
Yeah, what that would have to entail is TJ Watt going completely just
berserk.
TJ Watt going anime mode. Cam Hayward having a vintage Cam Hayward game. The secondary finally getting their act together and George Pickens not being a cancer and useless.
I mean, 4 drop passes yesterday. Yikes.
0 receiving yards.
Just 1 catch.
He had more confrontation with the fans than he did receiving runs.
I don't mean to use this insult here, but that's something I expect from Kadarius Toney.
That is Kadarius Toney to a T.
Oh.
And you know what, Alec? Don't take this the wrong way, but can you guys please draft a receiver that isn't a malcontent or doesn't run themselves out of town within 2 to 3 years of being there, please?
I'm praying that happens. We need a wide receiver 2 right next to George Pickens because we didn't get Brandon Ayuk this last offseason. I've wanted to get a wide receiver 2. Well, if we could utilize Mike Williams to how he is supposed to be used, if that all else doesn't fail.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Game 272. Let's get rocking and rolling. Lions will have the ball first, and they're all black jerseys. So, Jahmyr Gibbs being the lead back. Jared Goff is under center. So you say hello to their starting lineup. So, Goff, Gibbs, Tim Patrick, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, Frank Ragnow, Kevin Zeitler, and Penny Sewell. That is the starting 11 on offense. We'll get to the Vikings starting 11 on defense later on. First play seems to be a running play. They like to go with that for a long time. And indeed it will be. Here is Sonic the Hedgehog, Jahmyr Gibbs, up the middle for 2 yards. That's because David Montgomery, he is missing the rest of the regular season with an MCL sprain, but he is expected to come back in time for the playoffs. That's good news for the Lions in any sense. So for now, the RB2 is Craig Reynolds. 2nd and 8 forthcoming. And you know a lot of teams are going to be wanting to get Ben Johnson as their head coach. And a lot of teams are desperate. On the right side, it's a catch and run for Jameson Williams. Screen. Just 3 yards out of this. Brian Flores' defense with an early advantage here at Ford Field. The Lions have yet to lose on the road, by the way. Their only 2 losses have been at home at the hands of the Buccaneers and the Bills. 3rd and 5 next. And no one team may be wanting to go for coaching cycles. That being the 2 teams rather, the Jets and the Patriots. The Jets, they're on the coaching search, having previously interviewed, I believe, Mike Vrabel, and they also interviewed Rex Ryan. The Patriots just fired Gerard Mayo. Here's Goff on 3rd and 5. Towards the left side, the screen, and running for his life is Gibbs. Back pedals, then front pedals. 6 yards and the first as he gets driven out by Dallas Turner. So it's a double crossing route for the Lions on 3rd down as Gibbs was positioned as a receiver. In pursuit was Blake Cashman, the Vikings team leader in tackles. Gibbs backpedals off of him, forces Cashman to miss. Then as he runs around towards the left side, Turner was in pursuit, forces him out. Gibbs at single back, Dan Skipper has reported eligible as an extra offensive lineman. It will be a running play for Gibbs. Outside right, gets driven backwards by Andrew Van Ginkel. Has nowhere to go and loses 2. Excellent defense from the Vikings, forced out by Jerry Tillery and Cam Bynum. They're starting 11 on the Vikings defense. Jonathan Bullard, Harrison Phillips, Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, Ivan Pace Jr., Shaq Griffiths, Stephon Gilmore, Byron Murphy Jr., Harrison Smith, and the aforementioned Cam Bynum. The market's a loss of 3, backing them up to their own 38-yard line. Shotgun set with 3 receivers towards the left. No play fake here. Run up the middle. And maybe 5, probably 6 yards on the run for Gibbs. It will set up 3rd down about 8 or 7. It does depend on the spot. They'll mark it at the 43, so they'll say 5 yards. 31 takeaways for the Vikings defense, which is tied for third in the entire NFL. Ben Johnson's offense against Brian Flores' defense. 3rd and 8. 2 left and 2 right on the shotgun set. They'll go over running play. Gibbs, there was just nowhere for him to run. They stuck with the ground game. That time it backfired. Jonathan Grenard will force the punt from Jack Fox as Sam Darnold warms up. Taylor Decker went to the inside. That pulls the right guard. Kevin Zeitler tried to block off Grenard. Mistimes the block, and that gets Grenard free. The former Houston Texan, who has been vital to this Vikings defense. Fox will punt it to Brandon Powell. 7.2 yards per return on punt returns for Powell on the year. The former Los Angeles Ram will won a Super Bowl with them. Fox gets it off. Powell is positioned back deep at the 9-yard line. Returning left. He slips. Shy at the 15-yard line, it was the long snapper Hogan Hatton who came in on the tackle. And now we'll step away as Sam Darnold warms up. 4 minutes gone here in the first quarter. We will be back.
Hey, Alex, I think I'm going to lose you because I'm going to go on break and it's further underground. But I'll be back to join you for the rest of the broadcast when I get back.
All right, stay safe, Ian.
Yes, sir.
Potential comeback player of the year favorite, Sam Darnold, stepping onto the field for the first time for Minnesota. 4 minutes into this game, the Vikings trying to get the top seed in the NFC. A surprise team this year, as Kevin O'Connell looking to establish himself as one of the top coaches in the NFL, and he surely has done so. Home field advantage on the line. Loser this game goes to Los Angeles. Vikings will start at their 14-yard line. It's one motion man towards the right side. Single back settled. Aaron Jones in the backfield. Jones get the first carry. Jones splits the gap and gets 8. Say hello to the Vikings offense here. Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor, TJ Hawkinson, Cam Robinson, Blake Brandel, Garrett Bradbury, Dalton Reisner, and Brian O'Neill. Hurry up here. Darnold double pumps and is caught by Hawkinson at the 30. For another first down. With the first first down for the Vikings, the former Lion there. So the revenge game factor is going to be brought in here for Minnesota. 8 yards on that catch for Hawkinson as he slipped up. He wrapped up by Kirby Joseph. Nice route towards the left side. Everyone gets set here for both sides. Darnold motioning for his man to come to the left. That is the fullback, C.J. Ham. Now he motions to the left. Once more. Darnold play fakes. Gets pressure for the right side. It's Jay Jettis. Gets 5 yards as he is wrapped up by several Lions. So say hello to the Lion defense here. They're starting 11. DJ Reader, Levi Onwuzurike, Josh Paschal, Zadarius Smith, Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and Ifeatu Melifonwu. Everyone breaks out the funnel. Jefferson is lined up all the way to the right. Jordan Addison with Jalen Naylor in a trips formation left, and TJ Hawkins at the left side as well. Run play to the right for Jones. Jones gets wrapped up by Anzalone. Prevents the first down there, and Anzalone, his first game back, was feared to be missing the rest of the regular season. So at the end of the first period, I did post this out in the other battle. After the first, it's 2-1 Finland over the United States. Goes from Kiesinen on a power play in tight, and after rushes Urunen. Fourth line is humming as well, as the recent tweet from my good friend John Ott. Playing well and close and pushing the USA route. James Haig is on a rebound effort to the right side. Jones gets the first down. 4 yards before he was wrapped up at the right side. Higgins had a good rebound effort. The USA needs another gear in the following periods. But Finland's structure has been very solid. The shots are 13-8. Face-offs 12-10, both in favor of Finland. So if you want to turn to the World Juniors gold medal game, John Ott has you covered. His 2 epic games. Not talking about the company. Aaron Jones, 30-year-old, selected to the Pro Bowl after 2020. A man from UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso. Toss play inside for Jones. The Lions could not swallow him up, but Anzalone gets to him right on time. That Detroit defense could not bring him down on several turns, but up for the middle. He gets brought down at last. DJ Reader, Pro Bowler with the Bengals, one of the top defensive tackles in the NFL. Second and Forrest. Jones got 6 on that run. Darnold calls an audible. It's the first Vikings game I broadcasted since they lost to the Giants in the playoffs. And several flags fly in. We'll get our first look at our official, Brad Rogers, who was signaling false start. 6 years an NFL referee, or uniform number 126. That penalty call doesn't get old. False start, everyone but the center. But was Garrett Bradbury he really not at fault? Oh my God. That never gets old. Oh. But Bradbury, I think he did snap it. But instead of 2nd and 4, it's now 2nd and 9. Hawkinson was in motion. Darnold will look. Left and right. Has to hurry up. He just spiked that one towards the dirt. There was a receiver in the area, but everyone got covered up pretty good, including the intended man, Jordan Addison. And fired up was, who I believe, was Miles Adams, who got the pressure. 3rd and 9 here for Minnesota. With Cam Akers over at the backfield in the place of Jones. It's Darnold. He was looking, but was hurried up. The Lions having as big of a blitz rate as the Vikings do ever since Aiden Hutchinson went down. Jack Campbell also got the pressure on him. He hit him. 3rd and 9 as Campbell will get back onto the field of play. He's their leading tackler. Aaron Jones motions left. It's an empty backfield for Darnold. Here he is with the Lions setting 4. Darnold has to hurry up and off the hands of TJ Hawkinson. In coverage was Alex Anzalone, and Ryan Wright will punt for the first time. This Vikings special teams has just quietly been solid this season, being sent out there for the first time, as Wright, who changed his jersey number from 14 to 17 out of deference to Darnold. But that was a drop pass for Hawkinson. Anzalone was also there in coverage, but it was a busted coverage. Khalif Raymond back deep. He was activated off the IR entering this game alongside Anzalone. Kick on the way. Raymond's position at around the 12-yard line. Now backpedals to the 9. He'll return this. Raymond fakes out a man. Past the 20. Hauled down to 23. Pick up a 13 that time for Raymond. Jared Goff and company will get back onto the field. The wild card weekend. The schedule will be revealed momentarily. We'll get the information. To go here in the first quarter. Jared Goff and company wanting to drive down the field up against this ferocious Vikings defense, which has seen a rise under coordinator Brian Flores. After Ed Donatel was given the axe after the playoff loss. Saturday it will be the Chargers and Texans, Steelers and Ravens. First game on CBS, the latter game on Prime Video. Sunday, Broncos Bills, Packers, Eagles, Commanders, Buccaneers. Then Monday, it'll be the Rams hosting the loser of either the Vikings or the Lions. So the schedule has been revealed. So I may be available for Texans, Chargers, and Rams versus whoever the loser of this game is. Sunday, I'm unavailable. Though things could change if I'm not cleared to go. And given that originally I have plans to go to the Hurricanes game on Sunday, when Eric Stahl's jersey number gets retired. Jared Goff back out there on the field. His guy starting at the 23-yard line. They need to go 77 yards. 22-yard line, actually. 78 yards. Motion man is Sam Laporta. The Vikings can disguise their coverages or their blitzes. Inside toss play for Gibbs, who speeds right by several Vikings defenders. Makes his way over to about the 26, the 27 maybe. 4 or 5 yards. It all depends on the spot for where the officials put it. And the umpire, Brian Neal, he'll be the one in charge of spying the ball. Gibbs has 232 rushes, 1274 rushing yards on the season, which ranks 7th in the NFL. People talking about Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. But Gibbs is someone that is worth watching at every turn. 2nd and 6. Gibbs got 4 out of that rush. Shotgun set with 3 receivers to the right. Steelers and Ravens will play on Saturday at the night. Goff will look around left and right, then up the middle. Caught first down on the run was Sam Laporta for 8 yards. So David Montgomery went on a full workout of practice. His sprained MCL did not require surgery, so he'll be available at some point in the playoffs. Lions change formations. They're now going with a stack set. They bring Tim Patrick in. He's been their wide receiver free right behind Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Vikings fake the blitz. They'll go And the Lions will go back to Gibbs, and he gets munched up at the line of scrimmage. Over the top left. Gets brought down immediately. Now for second down. Jonathan Grenard was the first one. 58 in white. Bullard was also there. Alongside 52 for Minnesota as they're trying to establish their defensive presence. Jihad Ward, 52 in white. 6 rushes and 3 passes for the Lions on this drive. So far, St. Brown motioning all the way to the left. Goff on the play fake, fires towards the middle, finds the Sun God into Viking territory, past the 45, and another first down. 23 yards. When you fire dimes to open receivers, you're expected to make the most out of it if you're the open receiver, and that St. Brown did. Goff will look on first down. Will step up in the pocket. And that was wide of his man, Craig Reynolds, incomplete. 4:26 to go. The clock is stopped, 2nd and 10. Pass protection has been key for the Lions. And they're able to make big plays up throughout to protect Goff and hold him upright. One of the best offensive lines in the league. And they show it for a reason. And both teams know the situation. Jalen Redmond in the game as the defensive lineman for the Vikings. Right next to Harrison Phillips. Goff on 2nd and 10. Fires a perfect strike to Laporta. It's first down nonetheless. The first down saving tackle by Cam Bynum. It's 8 yards for Laporta. Blake Cashman was the blitzer here up through the middle. Ryan Flores wanting to send out his guys. But Goff read the blitz and delivered a strike to Laporta, who was the open man. No chance for Bynum. Third and 2 here. Craig Reynolds enters the game as the RB2. Goff is 5 of 6, 47 yards. The only incompletion was to Reynolds. Because Sonic and Knuckles between Gibbs and Montgomery. And the Lions still used their timeout. Right on time before the flag was thrown. It's a 30-second timeout for the Lions. They'll go over to discuss what they're going to do. One of the best offenses in the league. Give Sonic and Tails. If you're going Sonic characters, boy, a discussion of Sonic and Knuckles between Gibbs and Montgomery has me thinking about Sonic characters a lot. Shane Zylstra enters in as the second tight end. With the third tight end is Penny Sewell, 3-time Pro Bowl selection after the 2024 season. Third straight. And one of the best offensive tackles in the league. Rising up for the ranks. Knowing to set the lanes and edges. This could be a running play. 2 tight ends here. Indeed, it is a running play. Reynolds tries to find room. He does. That's the first down. A flag is out, though. It is a 3-yard run towards the left, pending the penalty. A holding penalty on Kevin Zeitler will negate that first down run by Reynolds. Josh Metellus wanted to read down lane up in the middle. He was the guy that Zeitler held. That was the hook on Metellus that Zeitler did and prevented Metellus from getting a tackle for a loss. If Byron Murphy Jr. tried to chase down Reynolds at the left side. 3rd and 12. Longer distance for the Lions to get through. See how they come out here. 3rd and 12. 3 receivers to the right. Now it's an empty set with 4 guys right. Now back to the shotgun they go. Vikings change up formations. Man in motion is St. Brown. Vikings send the house. Goff under duress. Finds an open man. That is Tim Patrick. At the 39-yard line. About about 7 yards. That's stopped by Shaquille Griffin. Say hello to our special teams on both sides. The Vikings special teams, Will Reichard, Ryan Wright, Ed DePaula, Ty Chandler, Brandon Powell. The Lions with Jake Bates, Jack Fox, Hogan Hatton, Silvaki, and Khalif Raymond. This is going to be the Lions going for it on 4th and 5. Too long for a field goal, too short for a punt from what their logic is. 4th and 5, and the Lions are indeed going for it. Vikings send the house again. Towards the middle, it is Jameson Williams. That's a first down and then some. Onto the 25-yard line. Dan Campbell is not afraid to roll the dice. And sensing that it is too long for a field goal and too short for a punt, he wanted to roll the dice. It is a 0 blitz. And Jared Goff knew it perfectly to get the ball off quickly. Nobody to block him. Take your shot. And that he did. With Jameson Williams being on the receiving end. 7 of 8 for 68 yards. There's a fullback in play. That's Shane Zylstra. Run up the middle. Lots of room for Gibbs. Gibbs has an entourage. And the Lions get the first cat scratch. Touchdown. How else can it be with the 4th down conversion coming on the 7th play? That is always the lucky number with Jameson Williams being on the receiving end at the crosser route. An open blocking lane set up by the fullback that was right behind. Jahmyr Gibbs dodges a tackle attempt from Cam Bynum and then has an open lane towards the left side. The first scratch, the claw of the Lions. Jake Bates on the extra point. He sneaks it through. And the Lions have first blood here. Sonic the Hedgehog on the loose, saving worlds and even protecting his city. Detroit is on top. We'll be back. Yesterday, the Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 19-17. However, everything that happened in the game for the Bengals, irrelevant now. They needed the Chiefs and the Jets to win. They got one part right. The Jets won and beat the Dolphins, eliminated the Dolphins for playoff contention. However, the Denver Broncos blew out the Kansas City Chiefs 38-0. And there was literally nothing for the Carson Wentz-led Chiefs to go through. Yikes. 38, and that did not bode well for the Bengals. and they're eliminated from the playoffs. That means the Denver Broncos are in the playoffs for the first time since winning Super Bowl 50. Kick is up from Jake Bates as Chauncey Billups is in the house. So, monitoring this game as I'll be also getting some look-ins at the gold medal game in the World Juniors from time to time. So, the Lions need to get healthy. There are 16 players on injury reserve, 5th most in the NFL. 12 of them were on defense, tied for most in the NFL. In their first 11 games, they have allowed 7 passing touchdowns and picked off opponents 14 times. In their last 5 games, they allowed 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on their passing defense. Aiden Hutchinson was placed on IR after week 6 with a compound leg fracture. 7.5 sacks throughout that time frame and may have been on his way to winning Defensive Player of the Year. Now that could go to Trey Hendrickson. Darnold getting pressured by 2 defenders. Darnold has to get rid of it, could not, and this is going to go for a monster loss. Zadarius Smith chasing Darnold left and right. Oh my goodness. That was disaster for the Vikings. A loss of 17. Hauling him down and all the way through. And Smith, acquired from the Cleveland Browns, labored away for the Lions right after Aiden Hutchinson went down with an injury. 2nd and 27. Fans are going wild here. Darnold from his own end zone towards the left side for Jones, setting up on the screen. Jones keeps his feet upright, but a monster loss. 17 yards, 9 yards as he was forced out by Kirby Joseph. 3rd and more manageable, though it's not saying a lot. It'll be 3rd and 18 for Darnold and company. It's Justin Jefferson wanted to get on the groove. Aaron Glenn, the Lions defensive coordinator, wanted to go hard on defense right on the Vikings. Can the Vikings overcome 2nd and 27? We'll have to find out here on 3rd and 18. 18 seconds left in the quarter. Motioning towards the right of Darnold is Jones, the former Green Bay Packer. Darnold tried to hurry up Garrett Bradbury. Lions send pressure with the right side. This one is over TJ Hawkinson. Misfired him, and that'll be a quick free and out. The pressure from the Lions at the right side, a little too much as Darnold was hurried up. And a throw right over TJ Hawkinson, just missing his hands. He jumped up trying to catch it, and it had an open lane as well. But there was literally nothing right after that. 54 punts for Wright. This would be his 55th. And back deep is Khalif Raymond. At his own 31-yard line, he'll begin this punt. On the return, shifts over to the right side. No room to run. Excellent special teams coverage from Jackson, 26 of the Vikings. Theo Jackson with the stop. Lions will start at their own territory at their own 31. Lions lead 7-0 thanks to Sonic the Hedgehog. We'll be back. Lions begin the second quarter with the ball. Kevin O'Connell, one of the youngest coaches in the NFL. He knows his stuff as well. Dan Campbell does as well. But Kevin O'Connell looks younger than 39 years old. That's how old he has been. That's how old he is right now. Dan Campbell, on the contrary, he's 48. Whew. He's coaching like he's a very experienced NFL veteran. And players would run through a wall for Dan Campbell. Flags out. Two of them are right behind the Lions' line of scrimmage. It's likely going to be a false start. And it is. Penny Sewell. So the Lions will have to go 74 yards for Pater again. The previous drive was a 4th down gamble. That paid off. 4th and 5 from the Vikings 39. Off the middle it is Gibbs. Sonic will go to the 30-yard line. 2nd and 11. Up through the middle is Jahmyr Gibbs, the second-year man for the Lions. Has been running like the blue blur himself. Man from Dalton, Georgia. Second-year man from Alabama. And the entire pass rush of the Minnesota Vikings need to counter it. There's not really a name that stands out for the Vikings, but it's a two-headed monster of Jonathan Kennard and Andrew Van Ginkel. Oh my goodness, the play was blown up from the get-go. Van Ginkel laid a booming hit, and that shook up Gibbs. But he gets up right on the hurry, shows how tough he is. But Van Ginkel blew up Gibbs on the right side. I guess Van Ginkel was a fan of Shadow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, what a hit. Ouch. 3rd and 20, as this was a loss of 8, and this will be a loss of even more. Grenard puts away Goff, and a quick 3-and-out on a drive that went backwards. Behold, the ultimate power. It's Grenard who shakes off Decker at that left side, puts on the spin move on him, and shakes the gap through between Decker and the left guard Graham Glasgow. That will send Jack Fox out there to punt, and he does get it off. It's a high kick towards the right side of the field. Powell will return. Back to midfield. Excellent field position for the Vikings to begin at. And Minnesota is in good field position. The first drive in the second quarter, a minute 50 in. We'll be right back. Vikings at midfield. The stories of Jared Goff and Sam Darnold both being interesting ones. There was a feeling that Darnold had talent with him. He needed to have the right system. And finally, he is at the right system. With Kevin O'Connell as his coach and Wes Phillips as his offensive coordinator. Jared Goff needed the right coach as well. He did with Sean McVay. The luster started to wear off in the later years with the Rams, but back with an offensive mind that can help play to his favors. And Ben Johnson, he has unlocked another gear in Detroit, having his best seasons of his career. Single back is Cam Akers. Gets the rock. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage as he is met by Anzalone and Al-Qadim Muhammad. Previous career high in wins for Darnold was 7. This year is 14, the most in NFL history in their first season with their team. The completion percentage in the previous career high was 62%. This year is 68%. Just 1 yard for Akers. It is 2nd and 9. Darnold. Clean pocket up for the middle. Finds his man. That is Josh Oliver, who runs for the first down. At the 36-yard line, flag comes out the end. Might be a Lions penalty, for what it seems. It's a flag down. They're going to say illegal contact on the line. And Brad Rogers has his back turned to the national audience. Oh. He turned away from us. He was making a call. Whoops. Vikings tried to tie this game up as Darnold's looking to get the play off. First down here for the Vikings. Winner will host the NFC side of the playoffs with home field advantage. Loser goes to Los Angeles in the first round on Monday. Quick throw towards the right side on the screen as Addison plays blown up. Nearly was deflected, but Amik Robertson read it. Towards the outside. That's where the Vikings wanted to go, but there were no blockers in the way. But Addison got back to the line of scrimmage. The play was blown up. Lions blitz, sending 6. Darnold taking a shot towards the end zone for the middle. Well too far. Addison was the intended man. Tarion Arnold, the rookie, in coverage. It'll set a 3rd down and 10. The protection here was picked up as Cam Akers picked up the blitz at the last moment. Darnold aired a home run shot. It has to be a touchdown, grabbing it. 3rd and 10 as the fans are getting loud here for their home team. 5 seconds on the play clock. They might be on the edge of field goal range. Hawkinson motions to the slot. That somehow wasn't the way of game. Darnold gets it off on time. The wide open Justin Jefferson stays upright and is down at the 5. 1st and goal. Hung in there. Jay Jettis taking off. It was fantastic as the blitz was tied up. The Vikings pick up the blitz at the last moment before the blitz was successful. Jefferson found himself wide open. Under pressure, no problem for Darnold, as Jefferson able to get himself open. And shoving away Amik Robertson. At the 5-yard line, as Jefferson's second catch, 37 yards total. Getting it is Akers. Akers trying to pounce it in. He will not get there. Just 2 yards. Nothing more. Branch Arnold in that secondary. Wrapping him up. They want to play by the rules, knowing that they can go after everything. 3 tight ends on this next play. Jefferson's out there. Aaron Jones as well. Hawkinson, Oliver, and Munt, the 3 tight ends. And we have some whistles here. Are we? They're going to reset the clock here. They're going to reset the clock. The clock was erroneously running. The game clock will reset to 10:25. Now it starts. Darnold going to look around, forces out to his left side, heaves this one up, it's thrown away. He escapes the pocket, having the pressure go up against him. So this Lions defense not wanting to give up something else. Jefferson was lined up as the running back. Aaron Jones is the tight end. They got it covered that time around as Darnold sees nobody open. Third and goal in the end. They're at the 3-yard line. Two teams. One division title. Who will it be? Hawkinson motions towards the left. 2 left and 2 right. In a shotgun set. Blitz again. Darnold towards the left. Well out of reach. Not even close for Hawkinson, and it will be likely a field goal try unless the Vikings want to go for it here on 4th and goal. So no touchdown there for Hawkinson. And Aaron Glenn wanting to dial this up. And the Vikings are going for it. 10 attempts on 4th down, converting 6 times, both of them fewest in the NFL. And Kevin O'Connell usually doesn't want to roll the dice, but here he is rolling the dice, wanting to make sure that he's going to capitalize on all things and get 6 instead of 3. Darnold on 4th and goal. Trying to escape the pocket, throws towards the left side, out of reach! The Lions defense holds Justin Jefferson. The intended man trying to do a one-handed catch, could not do so. Jordan Addison was an open man on the right side of the field. And the Vikings got down to the 3-yard line, nothing more than that. Jefferson tried to get himself open, but there was a slight spacing for him. It bobbled off his hand. Nothing there. Lions take over after 0-3 when we come back. Lions up 7-0 with the only touchdown from Jahmyr Gibbs. Vikings tried for it on 4th down, just their 11th 4th down attempt on the season. And they missed on it. However, the Lions are pinned back deep at their own territory. Vikings trying to get them pinned back deeper and maybe even a safety. But that's going to be thrown away as Gibbs runs for 5 yards. For this moment. So that smack on Jahmyr Gibbs left him shaken up. And he is good to go. David Montgomery being out for this game with an MCL sprain. 5 yards on that first run from Gibbs towards that left side. Dan Skipper as the extra offensive lineman on that first play. Motioning right is Williams. Play fake, it's Goff. Van Ginkel closes in. Goff, he got it off on time. Now the question was it intentional grounding? They ruled it incomplete. Was there a receiver in the area? They say yes, there was. 3rd and 5. This is going to be a very interesting conversation. The official closing in. If that is intentional grounding, then it will be a safety. They will rule it incomplete. Brock Wright was the eligible receiver in the area of the pass. And the clock will be reset to 9:31. Wright was an eligible receiver in the area. He was crawling onto the back. And so was Jahmyr Gibbs, who was also an eligible receiver. Getting right back. 26. Now 3rd and 5. Goff on the edge of the end zone towards the left side. First down, it's Patrick. At the 15-yard line. Lions able to escape trouble. Just barely. If that's a safety, you want to get the edge advantage up front. Over to the left side. And that he did. Where first down, that was Patrick. Gibbs in the backfield, single back. Motion man right, then left is Laporta. Here's Sonic. Gets just one. So that was a very close call. Gibbs was in the area, but was there a bat in the way? No, there was not. It hit Taylor Decker, but he did not bat it intentionally. There was no illegal touching in the area. In fact, it did not hit his hand. 2nd and 9 at the 15-yard line. Goff will once again hand it off to Gibbs, but it's actually Reynolds who gets 8 yards out of this run. Ivan Pace Jr. with the stop up the middle. It's at a 3rd and 1 on this run from Reynolds. Pace, the second-year man from Cincinnati. And a Cincinnati native as well. Took over the starting linebacker spot over who was favored to be the starting linebacker, Brian Asamoah. 3rd-year man from Oklahoma, native of Newark, New Jersey. 3rd and 1. Single back set again for the Lions. Do they go back to the run? Or have the Vikings figured that out? Laporta motions towards the left side. They go back to the run. And it is a first down. 3 yards for Craig Reynolds. As Knuckles is out of a sprained MCL, Tails is here to the rescue. Reynolds and Justin finds the smallest of holes over the middle. And that open gap leads the way for the first down. Another single back set. It's Reynolds in the game. 3 tight ends out here for the Lions. It's Laporta motioning left. Play fake this time around. Goff keeping it under duress. Ball is tipped up and intercepted. And being hauled down was Ivan Pace Jr. Josh Metellus may have gotten a hand on it. On the intended screen as Pace, who originally was going to sack Goff, tipped it up, and it was picked off at that last moment on that right side. Metellus being the blitzer at the right. He's a safety that plays in the slot and broke free to blow up that play. 3 guys were in on Goff. And Goff wanted to get it up on time. Could not. Part of the turnover problem. And the Vikings setting up 1st and goal. First turnover of this game. Brian Flores' defense capitalizing this time around as Sam Darnold can cash in for the Vikings. Motion right Jones on an empty set, left, 2 left and 3 right. Jones motions back left. Lions sending 4. Darnold Throwing this towards the end zone. Broken up. Amik Robertson was there. And the Lions nearly returned the favor. Almost had an interception of their own. Going up against one of the best receivers in the NFL. And showed no fear in his eyes, breaking that pass up. Stayed in coverage and almost intercepted it. And whatever it is, that may have given the Vikings an extra life here in the end zone, in the red zone. 2nd and goal. Robertson almost picked off Darnold. Motioning right is Brandon Powell, who lines him in the slot at the right. Oh, that's going to be very close. Darnold. Hearing the pressure come towards the end zone. Bobbled up. Caught out of bounds. Justin Jefferson could not haul this one in as 3rd and goal. .6:42 left in the second quarter as Jefferson tipped it up, but his feet were both out of bounds, both of them at the time he caught it. He leapt up on his feet, but by the time he caught it, it was out. Amik Robertson in coverage once again as Jefferson tried to catch a hot ball, could not. 15-16 receiving yards, second to only his LSU classmate Jamar Chase. 3 receivers towards the right side. Lions send the house after Darnold. Darnold wants a one-on-one matchup, and it floats over Jefferson. Could not tip it to himself, and it's 3 straight incompletions for Darnold. A near interception, a catch out of bounds, and one that sailed over Jefferson's head. And this one was high, but that was one to be had for Darnold. But feeling the pressure, threw a high ball. He was wide open. But those throws could have been better for Darnold. Should have had that one. And the special teams is out there for the first time. Will Reichard, rookie out of Alabama. He just drills this one. Squeaks it in inside the right upright. And the Vikings on the board. 6:35 to go here in the second quarter. Could not capitalize. And could not make that interception into 6. They will get 3 out of it. We'll be right back. Vikings were looking for 6. They only got 3 out of it. They can look at the Ambassador Bridge at Detroit, with the many iconic bridges of Detroit. The suspension bridge connecting Detroit and Windsor. The tall bridge being the busiest in the border between the United States and Canada. Justin Jefferson being targeted on all three of those Sam Darnold passes towards the end zone. But none of them were hauled in. One of them was nearly intercepted. The second one was caught out of bounds. The third one was too high for him, overthrown. Here at Ford Field, the Lions can make the Vikings pay. Oh, Reicher may have sent this one out of bounds. No, he didn't. It bounces off the front of the end zone and to the back it goes. That'll be first down over at the 30. These Lions are roaring. 33.3 points per game, the first time leading the NFL since 1954. Entering Week 18, 6 games of at least 40 points, tied for most of the season in NFL history. And entering Week 18, a plus 200 point differential, the best in team history. The Lions fans are all hyped up for what they want to accomplish here this season and in the future years. On the play fake, Jared Goff to throw it towards the middle. Check down route. A stumble. And that was Tim Patrick, 8 yards on that crosser towards the middle. Blake Cashman brought him down. So Jared Goff and company want to get things up and running here in Detroit. Regular season finale on both these team seasons and this season overall. 2nd and 2. As rolling towards the left side is Jamison Williams. Another play fake. Blitz is picked up. Wide open is St. Brown. Going one-on-one Cashman. Nearing midfield. Down at the 49. The sun god is showing his light. 11 yards on the catch and run. Goff is going no huddle here. They want to hurry things up. The blitz gets picked up by the Lions as they adjust the protection. And St. Brown was open. 2 left and 2 right. Shotgun set this time. Handoff up the middle. It is Jahmyr Gibbs. Gets hauled down at the Vikings 47. And that's 4 yards on that run with Jerry Tillery right in on Gibbs. Harrison Phillips, the former Buffalo Bill, also there. It's 3 yards actually. After the second, Pianiemi beating 2 players and scoring on the circle. It was 3-1 Finland. Shots on goal, then turned 15-4 the rest of the way in favor of the Finns. Svoboda had a double deflection. As towards the left, it's Gibbs. Oh, he gets shoestring. That prevented a first down. That was Ivan Pace Jr. Of an intelligent and smart play to bring down Gibbs. So Svoboda had a double deflection. Then there's a gorgeous play by Cole Hudson. Windmills past the defense, creating space to ping the bar, and it's in. It was 3-1, but then it's tied at 3. It is going to go down here. Everything coming down to the wire in the World Juniors gold medal game. 3rd and 3. Yet another run. They go rounds this time. Up the middle. First down, Detroit. It might be close though, but for the moment it's a first down. Up the middle by the 3rd-year man from Kutztown. He might be short by half a yard. And you know Dan Campbell. He's wanting to go for it. 4th inches. Perhaps a running play up the middle again. You want to run the ball. Pound it to the inside. Go with the smart play. And now we have something stopping the clock. Maybe a timeout. There's a challenge here. And there's a challenge by Dan Campbell. He wants to challenge the spot. So we'll check this one out. We'll be right back in just a moment. 3:42 to go. So Dan Campbell is challenging to spot the ball. We'll get the verdict from Brad Rogers after the break. is called, Dan Campbell has lost the challenge and his second time out. So, upon closer looks, it looked like Gibbs may have gotten the first out first glance. However, the knee was Reynolds, who was half a yard shy. The ball was just inches shy of it. The call said 4th and inches, and you know Dan Campbell, he's not going to shy away from trying to convert these. Goff is going to throw it towards the left side. Oh my goodness, that was a bad throw, or maybe there was a hand onto the ball. A smart deflection on the play, though. And Sam Darnold and company will take over. You have everybody trying to play the run, but seeing that it was a play fake, the Vikings get a hand onto the ball at that last moment. And right up front, I believe it was Jonathan Bullard who gets a hand on it. Yes, he did. And altered the angle on the ball intended for Jameson Williams. The logic makes sense, but that was a smart play by Bullard to make sure that ball doesn't get to Williams. Vikings ball, first down, as they take over right after 4th and inches, backfired on the Lions. I set with C.J. Hammond as the fullback. Running play for Jones. Jones adjusts towards the left and gets 2.5 yards as he is down. So Alex Anzalone, part of this banged up Lions defense, was activated off the IR, was initially designated questionable, but he was given a start by Campbell's defense. 2 yards for Jones on the first carry. Once again going back to the I set. Ham motions towards the right side. It's a fake. Darnold trying to run away from the pressure and does for the moment. Darnold being chased down. And he is forced out. Right by the line of scrimmage by Jalen Reeves-Maybin. 3rd down nonetheless. As Darnold, the front runner for comeback player of the year, was shaken up a bit, but not too much, as he is still calling the shots. 3rd down here for Minnesota, trying to march down through the field. Their only score came on the interception from Ivan Pace. That was on a tip ball by Josh Metellus. Minnesota's 2 of 6 on 3rd down so far, averaging 8.2 yards to go. Here it is 3rd and 6, so it is right by average yards to go on 3rd down, but they have not been good tonight here on 3rd down. It's a shotgun set with 3 receivers to the right. Lions send 5. Darnold towards the middle, and for the first time to convert on 3rd down, they take this to the 35 in Lion territory. Jalen Naylor. It's a 1st down for the Vikings, heading into the 2-minute warning. Lions win 7-3, NFC North title and the top seed in the NFC on the line here. And much discussion about the playoff format may need to be discussed here. Could be. 7-3 Lions, the final one for number 1 in the NFC North battle. Back in a bit. here in Detroit. Lions lead 7-3 up on the Vikings in this NFC North battle. How are we doing, Nash?
Good, Alec. How you doing?
All good, all good. What you been up to these days?
Not much, man. Just watching football today.
Especially this one, the big one, as they say.
Yeah, huge game.
Yep, Minnesota, they have the ball right now. Winner gets home field advantage for the NFC playoffs. Loser will travel to Los Angeles and get the 5 seed. And here's Aaron Jones, runs into his own offensive line, spins away from it, and gets 5 yards out of this. So he runs into his own O-line, spins out, and then gets to the left side. Crazy to think that the loser of this game will get the 5 seed and finish 14-3. Absolutely bonkers to think about.
I think they should change the playoff seeding rules after this.
They might have to have a discussion about that, because normally it's division winners getting the first 4 seeds, but we may have to take a look at that in the future. The NBA changed the rules so that division winners don't get the top 3 seeds. Here's Jones towards the right side, has a first down, flag flies in right after Jones gets tackled. Maybe they could take a look at the playoff seeding rules right after this season. So far, it's been very disciplined. Not a lot of penalties so far. The Brad Rogers has the mic. Defensive hold on Pat O'Connor. The penalty yards will be added to the end of the run. He's one of the defensive linemen for the Lions. Won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, primarily as the team's extra offensive lineman, who can also line up on defense. Sam Darnold has had a resurgent season and potentially laying himself as the comeback player of the year. Tonight, they're 0-for-2 in the red zone, 60% in the 16 games prior to this week. Motioning into the right of Darnold is Aaron Jones. Chance to take the lead for the Vikings. Jones is met a yard past the line of scrimmage. So this Lions defense, with all the injuries, they hold firm that time around. DJ Reader, the ex-Bengal. No Aiden Hutchinson. It's normally signaled trouble. But so far it's no problem until the injuries mounted up to a maximum. 2nd and 9. Lions send 4 after Darnold. For the middle, the catch in immediately the shoestring from Jack Campbell on Aaron Jones. And a timeout called by Kevin O'Connell. 3rd and 6 as it was 3 yards that time. Oh no, they're not going to call timeout this time. So they're going to keep it rolling. And now they will take a timeout. I thought it was. The ESPN box score is immediately ahead of me. But now Kevin O'Connell, he will take his timeout. Boy. So, which playoff matchup are you looking for on the wild card weekend side, Nash?
Well, I'm a Washington fan, so I'm thinking about driving down to Tampa for that game. So I'm excited about that one.
Hey, you guys made Coach Joe Gibbs proud on the season.
Yes, sir, man. Trying to get our first playoff win in a long time, like 19, 20 years. So hopefully we can get it done.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you guys on that match.
Yeah, it would be tough. Baker and that offense is really good, but I think we can win.
Hey, yeah, Scary Terry.
Yeah, he set a franchise record for touchdowns today when he had the game winner.
The blitz worked for the Lions on 3rd and 6. Sam Darnold heaved it up and was incomplete. And it will be another field goal try for Will Reichard. Aaron Jones was the intended man, but Josh Paschal was right out on his face. And caused Darnold to misfire on his target. It'll be a field goal try for the left side, and Aaron Glenn is pumped up. Lions will still lead nonetheless, no matter if the field goal is good or not. Reichard, rookie out of Alabama, 31 yards on the left side, on the way. Of course, it's 7-6, Detroit. And with 20 seconds to go in the half, Minnesota does have the ball to begin the second half. So, most of the playoff matchups have been determined. That Washington-Tampa one is going to be a movie. Admittedly, I'm not really looking forward to my playoff matchup because despite the Bengals being out of the playoffs, the Ravens at Baltimore in the playoffs, look, for as bad of a reputation that the Ravens have playoff-wise under Lamar Jackson, I'm not really that confident in my guys that we can get the job done in Baltimore. Because, look, our schedule was brutal to end the year. I'm not downplaying that. Facing the Eagles and the Chiefs would normally mean a death sentence. And it was. But we didn't have to look that lifeless in those final 4 games to end the year.
Yeah, it'll be tough. Ravens look like one of the best teams in football right now. But I'm not sure if Blake Flowers will be healthy, so we'll see what happens.
That and games inside the division can be very wonky. I'm not going to downplay that either. Oh my goodness. This kick is out of bounds. And this will be set up at the 40-yard line. Oh my goodness. So now the Lions, they can get into field goal range to end the half. Well, how about this? So to say the least, I might not be doing any game on Sunday because I'll be going to the Hurricanes game on Sunday. And that game is of significance because that's the game in which Eric Stahl has his jersey number retired.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, likely, Miami catch the Texans and Chargers on Saturday as Goff delivers a strike to the right side. Amon-Ra St. Brown gets into Viking territory. If they get any further, they may set up Jake Bates on prime field goal position. So Monday, the Rams will host the loser of this game. I may get onto that game as well. Admittedly, if I do sound different and not my usual self, then just know I am under the weather right now. I've been battling the weather over the last few days. Hoping it all gets right and on to plan for future games. Three receivers to the left this time around. Goff, he's going to throw towards the middle. And up for the middle at the 30-yard line, Khalif Raymond. Now the Lions are going to run the clock out down to about 3 seconds. They'll take the timeout with 2 seconds to go. And they'll send out Jake Bates for a field goal just before the half ends. That is all the plan now. With 2 seconds to go in the half. Remember, the Vikings have the ball to begin the second half. Will Reichert kick the ball out of bounds. That got the Lions onto this spot. Bates' longest field goal is from 58 yards. He has converted 25 of 28. The legend continues on. And the rookie kicker who tried out the UFL for the Michigan Panthers is now a standout with the Detroit Lions. And he has tried hitting from at least 60 at times. This kid is something special for the Lions. They have found their franchise kicker, it seems. And the Vikings are going to try to ice Jake Bates and take a timeout their own. Alright, so AFC playoff seedings have been determined. The schedule has been laid out in the wild card round. The 2 Saturday games are set. The 3 Sunday games are set. The Monday game has been set. Alright, and now, Jake Bates. He'll try to nail this from 48. It's no problem for him. It's at the right hash, but these types of kicks have been no problem for kickers these days. On the right side. Snap, spot, kick. And there was no doubt about that one. The Lions will head to halftime, leading 10-6. So, schedule is as follows in the wild card for next weekend. First game is on Saturday. the Texans host the Chargers. The Ravens will host the Steelers. Sunday, Bills host the Broncos. Eagles host the Packers. Buccaneers host the Commanders. Then on Monday, it'll be the Rams hosting either the Vikings or the Lions. So, going on a game-by-game basis, I may think of a segment in which we both make our picks here, Nash, for who would win on each and every game in the wild card round. Is that good with you?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. I'll go in sequential order. Let's start out at the Space City, where the Texans host the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh's first NFL playoff game back since he was the 49ers head coach, and coming up a national championship with the Michigan Wolverines. Who wins is here in Houston?
It's a tough one. Houston's been struggling, but I think Stroud will get together. I think it'll be like a low-scoring game. I think Houston will win like 20-17. I think could go either way.
It's going to be one of those defensive games. I can see it that way as well.
Yeah, Texans' defense has been really solid this year. Obviously, the Chargers and Harbaugh plays that type of way too.
Yep. I feel this type of game it benefits the Chargers, in my opinion. I think it's going to be tight, but I think the Chargers squeak out a narrow victory on a Cameron Dicker field goal. I see it as a game of field goals. 19-16, the final score for the Chargers. Touchdowns on one side each. One from Joe Mixon, the other from Ladd McConkey. I think I'll see it that way. Ravens Steelers. Oh, God, this is going to be one that is going to get my heart attacks ramped up. I am so not prepared for this game. Do you see this going the Ravens' way, Nash, or the Steelers' way?
Man, I think the Steelers will hang around for a bit, but I just don't think they have the offense to keep up. I think the Ravens will win 27-13.
I feel this will be a Ravens victory as well. I feel if it goes at the very best for us, we'll keep pace for about a sizable portion before the Ravens get away with this one on this game. So see that you're back here, Ian. So Nash and I are doing our picks over wildcard weekend as the Lions. They're up 10-6 so far. We got our picks for the Texans and Chargers. We split the Texans-Chargers one. We both went with the Ravens. How do you see the Saturday games going, Ian?
So it's just 2 games going on Saturday, right?
Yes.
So, Texans and Chargers, as a Chiefs fan, I am disgraced for saying this, but it's the Chargers. I'm sorry. I don't see the Texans. To me, the Texans have no strength. They don't have anything left. I could be wrong, but right now the Chargers are firing on all cylinders, and unless they've lost one of their key receivers that I don't know about, they're basically going in full strength. So I got the Chargers. I want to be wrong. I really, 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 really do.
Oh, you would hope so.
Yeah, and as for the other game, let's see.
Steelers and Ravens.
The Steelers just doing their usual thing of losing at the end of the season to actual contenders. The placement quarterback reverting back to what he was a season ago. Mike Tomlin doing Mike Tomlin things, and just overall finding ways to lose. Steelers have no offense because their coordinator is Arthur Smith, and basically they rely on T.J. Watt, Tim Hayward, and whatever's left of the rest of the defense to bail them out. But the bullshit is real.
I knew you were going to say that.
Deus Ex Machina will reign, and the Steelers will ruin the days and dreams of Ravens fans all around. Give me the Steelers.
I'll laugh like a madman if we actually beat the Ravens. Look, I'm not even expecting us to beat them. I just want us to stay competitive with them, given how lifeless we've looked. But to outright win, I'd be actually shocked.
Well, truth be told, unless things really are different, as Ravens fans have been telling me all day, you are guaranteed Lamar will turn into a pumpkin.
Against this Steelers defense, because before the second matchup, Lamar has had a history of succumbing to the Steelers defense. All right, we got the Saturday games out the way. On to Sunday, where I will not be casting a game on Sunday because I'm going to the Hurricanes game, where Eric Stahl has his jersey number retired. I don't want to miss that out. Clever date to put the jersey retirement, January 12th.
Wow.
Yeah. So first game, was it?
Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
I was about to ask what games are being played.
So Sunday, first one is the Buffalo Bills, and for the first time since their Super Bowl winning season when Peyton Manning rode off to the sunset, the Denver Broncos. All right. So we start out with you, Nash. Who do you think is winning this one between Buffalo and Denver?
Yeah, I don't think Denver has what it takes to keep up with Buffalo. Buffalo's got a big home field advantage, and they know the weather better. I think Buffalo wins 35-17.
So I know Denver's back onto the dance, but making the playoffs is one step forward for their future. But the ride ends here. Or does it, Ian?
Oh, no. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely it does. Because the Bills are going to annihilate them. Yes, I am saying that. The Bills are going to annihilate the Donkeys. Because, congratulations, you've won just enough games to sneak your way into a wild card. We saw what happened when they went against the Bengals. When they play real teams, don't let today fool you when they annihilated a bunch of backup and third-string players. Don't let that fool you. When they go up against a real team with real offense and real weapons, they get annihilated. Oh, and on top of that, Buffalo has a defense. So, yeah, Denver, good luck.
A defense that can pester a rookie quarterback. That spells trouble for the Bills. So, I'll take the sweep. Bills win this one, and we'll move on to the second round. Likely to face Baltimore, if all things considered. Second matchup, a rematch of the Brazil game at Sao Paulo, the Eagles and the Packers. This time, it's in Philadelphia, with the Packers once again being the road team. Starting with you, Nash.
Yeah, I mean, I hate the Eagles. This might be a bit biased, but I think this will be similar to the Brazil game. A lot of points will be scored. Not sure about Jalen Hurts' health, so I think maybe an interception by Xavier McKinney will be the difference. I got the Packers in a shootout, 38-35.
Hey, You know, this is going to be one that's too close to call. Seating order may be full, and may fool people here. And that's how I feel it's going to be, but it's going to be too close for comfort. What say you, Ian?
Okay, is it confirmed that Jalen Hurts is going to play?
We'll have to wait on a word for his status as of yet.
He'll play.
He'll play.
But he'll play.
So, here's the thing, right? Against the Packers, the primary weapon is going to be Saquon. It's always going to be Saquon. And truth be told, we got to remember what happened in the first week when the Packers played. It was a late injury to Jordan Love that essentially sealed it for the Packers. Now, have we gotten an update on what Jordan Love suffered during today's game?
So, just to say the least about Jordan Love and his injury, so what he suffered was an elbow injury.
bad?
He said he lost feeling in his right throwing hand after falling on it early in the second quarter against the Bears.
It's just him falling on his funny bone and him having that tingly feeling. Should be okay.
May likely be okay.
So, with that being said, okay. Strong running game, decent wide receivers. Truth be told, after watching them play against the Bears, I am very down on the Packers secondary. And as much as I would love to watch the Packers make another 2-seed cry, I think the Eagles are going to make it to the next round.
And this is not even mentioning about the injury to Christian Watson in that game as well. Matt LaFleur is not optimistic about his status. It's a right knee injury. So it's going to be a battle of strong running games between Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. I still think it's going to be high scoring, but the Eagles get this one out. They have the crowd factor on their side. Yeah. All right. The primetime one. Commanders and Buccaneers. Nash, this is your team. Who do you see winning this one in Tampa?
Yeah, I think this is going to come down to Marshawn Lattimore plays at corner because our secondary is really bad, but with him, it really changes our defense. But I think the Bucs secondary is banged up, and I think Jaden Daniels will have a big game, and I think we'll get our first playoff win in a long time. I got Washington winning this one, 34-24.
All right. A Commanders win to make Joe Gibbs and Dale Earnhardt Jr. proud. Yes, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a Commanders fan. All right. Ian, your turn.
I got, this is really going to be just a flip of the coin for me. Because I don't know where to put these two teams. More specifically, it all depends on who Baker wants to be. Because he will lay the egg, but when he's on, it's the Baker Mayfield show, and it's a hit. But you know what? With how momentum works, I'm going to give the edge to the Commanders, but I am not totally out on the Bucs. Simply because Baker has an X factor. But right now, it's the Commanders.
I may be in that same boat of the flip of a coin type of game, given that this can go either way or another. Momentum really is a funny word, and things can change in the blink of an eye. Though, I am also high on Bucky Irving as the Buccaneers RB1. Sure, secondary is banged up, and also the Commanders' secondary needs some work, but having Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Sanderstill is a good starting point. Think I have to... This is too tight to call. I think this may be a potential overtime game, but, well, how's about home field advantage actually backfiring? Commanders here. Clean sweep. But this was not easy.
Yeah, and Nash, here's the thing. If they bring the duck into the stadium, you're screwed.
Bring the what?
If the Buccaneers bring the duck back into the stadium, you're screwed.
Oh, was that the Bucs game where that duck was on the field?
Yep.
Oh, you noticed.
I saw a clip of it. I didn't realize it was at the Bucs game.
Yeah, it was a duck.
It was a duck.
You've heard of Bucky Irving. Get ready for Ducky Irving.
Ducky.
Yeah, Bucky was an Oregon Duck, by the way.
Yep, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneer. No. I'll stop.
Yeah, too much duck jokes around here. If only Devlin Hodges still plays. We're on the way in the second half, by the way. We'll be getting our picks onto that last game. We'll find out who the winner is of this game at the end. Then maybe it feels like I'm gonna save the last game, the Monday one, for after this game is over.
Now, it's the Rams at the 4th seed, right?
Yes, they lost to the Seahawks and the Buccaneers won.
Truth be told, again, we have to wait to see who wins this, but it is not in my nature to pick against Matthew Stafford, because he just has this way of, he will either throw the game away, or he will drive the dagger into the heart of the other team.
That he does with precision. Darnold airs up toward the right side. Oh, that was not even close. Missed everyone on target. 3rd and 8. Miscommunication with his receiver, Jordan Addison. Product of USC and Pitt. It'll be 3rd and 8. And Dan Campbell is wanting an earful of the refs as he was arguing with the down judge Kent Payne. 79. The Vikings have just 3 3rd down conversions on 8 tries. It's their 9th try, 3rd and 8. Darnold signals Jefferson to motion right and then back left. Lions send the house after Darnold. He's getting hurried up. Darnold fires one towards the left side. In and out. And a flag comes in at the end. Justin Jefferson was the intended man, but there are flags after the matter of fact. Intended man was Jefferson. They are signaling pass interference, or actually illegal contact, on Amik Robertson. Brian Branch, actually. It was not on Robertson, who defended that well. But the Lions, they're showing how physical they are defensively. Trying to get off this ball. When Jordan Addison got held by Brian Branch, that was clearly illegal contact. And Dan Campbell is not happy. Branch is selected to his first Pro Bowl this season. Josh Oliver, the second tight end, motions towards the right and a trip set with 3 receivers left. The single back is Cam Akers. A play fake to him. Darnold holding on to it, airs one towards the right side. That was short of Addison. And boy, Darnold picked a bad time to have his worst game this season. But to keep an eye on the status of Aaron Jones, because it's primarily Cam Akers in the backfield now. Won a Super Bowl with the Rams with Matthew Stafford, and Jones is running back onto the Vikings sideline now. He is with a medical trainer in the meantime. 2nd and 10. Calling an audible here. 2 seconds on the play clock, down to 1. And motioning is Addison. They'll go to Akers. Has a gaping hole. Akers to the 40 at the right side. Akers in a foot race with Joseph. Akers gets brought down at the 5. Kirby Joseph saves a touchdown. And Cam Akers sets the Vikings up in prime field position. The fight for the NFC North. They fake the outside zone to the right. Akers found the open hole towards that left side. And backside got the job done as he speeds by Joseph. Lots of daylight for him to run around. And Joseph using the hand of Akers as momentum to bring him down the 5-yard line. 1st and goal at the 5. Last time they were there, they could not punch it in. And Akers gets swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Several Lions in on him. Lions try to soften the blow here. No gain for Akers up the middle. Jack Campbell and DJ Reader stopping the run. See what Aaron Gwen has up his sleeves here on second and goal for this Lions defense. It's been dealing with injuries time and time. 3 drives in the red zone for the Vikings. Only twice have they ever scored, and both times it was on field goals. Jefferson motions right. On the play fake. Double fake. Towards the left. The catch by Jones. Forced out at the 2. Did not make it in. That was Campbell again, as Jones is back on the field as he came running out of the tunnel. That makes it 3rd and goal. Potential crosser route or maybe even an out route. Perhaps. Or for a fade to Ujadis. But that Lions defense being ferocious and holding their own. Single back set with Jones in the backfield. Stack set, Johnny motions towards the right side. Darnold will throw it. Escaping the pressure as he is being hurried up. Darnold does the smart thing and throws it away. Now an interesting decision looms large here on 4th and goal. It was a 58-yard run for Akers. One of his longest runs this season. However, if the Vikings don't convert, they will end up empty-handed. So it's going to be a very tough call to make for Kevin O'Connell. They played man coverage. The recommendation is going for it on 4th and goal. From the analytical standpoint. They're inside the 5 as well at the 2. Shotgun set with 3 receivers towards the right side. 12th time they've gone for it on 4th down. Darnold, Lions blitz and send 5. Darnold escaping the pocket. Throws towards the right side. Broke it up. Terrion Arnold makes the play. And the Lions take over at their 2.
They really struggled in the red zone tonight.
It was up for grabs on the right side on a contested ball, but the USC product could not hold this one in. The 12th time in which the Vikings went for it, and it backfires. Lions take over. Vikings can still score with a safety. But as we're going to break here and now, we are headed to overtime in the World Juniors Gold Medal.
Twice they've gone for it on 4th, and twice
they've missed.
They've missed. If they just kicked the 2 field goals, they'd be leading by 2 right now.
I'm going a side-by-side feed with the Lions and Vikings and the gold medal game of the World Juniors. USA and Finland tied at 3. Svoboda with the latest goal for USA. Pieniemi for Finland. Ian, our good friend John Ott has this game covered. You can find him. You guys can find him on Twitter at John Ryan Ott and on YouTube as well for the gold medal game of the International Ice Hockey Federation World Junior Championships. The game is on NHL Network. However, this is very interesting now. USA and Finland. Maybe a potential preview of a potential championship match in the Four Nations face-off, given that USA and Finland are 2 of the 4 countries to participate in the Four Nations face-off. There's a round robin for February 12th to 20th in the Four Nations face-off. Montreal and Boston serve against the host cities. So Canada and Sweden on Wednesday the 12th. USA and Finland on Thursday the 13th. Finland and Sweden on Saturday the 15th. USA and Canada on that same day as well. On Monday, the tournament, Canada and Finland will face off on the first game in Boston. Then the later game, it will be Sweden and USA. On the later game. The championship game is on the 20th, on Thursday. The Monday games are the first games. So here's Goff from his own end zone. He's one down the field, has a man. It's for the other team though. Intercepted by Harrison Smith, the longtime stalwart of the Vikings defense. Jameson Williams was the intended man on the deep ball. Or to go with a deep route. Second turnover on the Lions. And for Smith, that's his 37th career interception, the most among active players. Josh Metellus was the blitzer at the right side. Smith jumped up to get the interception as he backpedaled. It was well out of reach from Jameson Williams. Jared Goff, a little shaky here on the night. This Vikings defense showing themselves their true form. How they can produce old school defensive football. Lions are no strangers to that either. On the first play after the turnover, towards the left side, it is Jones in his first rushing play back. Jones gets about 7 yards the left side, and the last thing the Lions need on defense is more injuries. This time it is Terrion Arnold who went down on the tackle.
Another cornerback. Alec. Why? Just football gods. Give us an explanation as to why. Dan Campbell has done nothing to deserve this. Detroit has suffered enough. What did they do to incite your fury?
As we're stepping away here for this moment in the midst of the football gods' wrath, the Lions down to just 4 corners on the active roster. Amik Robertson, Kendall Vildor, Stanley Thomas Oliver, and Maurice Norris. Among the corners that have been placed on the IR include Carlton Davis and Anis Rakestraw Jr. Out for the year with a fractured... Davis out with a fractured jaw on the IR. Anis Rakestraw Jr. with a hamstring injury. That's not to mention Emmanuel Mosley is on the non-football illness list.
Yeah, so Alec, game's not over, but early prediction, if the Lions lose, they are going to lose to the Rams. And I am not deviating from that prediction.
Injuries.
If the Vikings lose, I'll have to think about it. If the Lions lose, they are getting plunked in the first round because they have no defense.
You know, now that I think about all these injuries, bold take. The Lions will lose their first playoff game, no matter if it is in the wild card or the divisional. Injuries can only pile up for so long before you lose your first playoff, before you lose. And the Lions, with the injury rate that they're going with, they can't keep going on with this for so long. I'm sorry, but I don't think the Lions will make it out of the divisional round.
And it's not like they are going to have anyone coming back before those games. I've checked the timelines. I mean, who is even close to recovery?
The closest one is Aiden Hutchinson.
They say Hutchinson might come back, but that's only if they reach what?
The NFC Championship game.
The NFC Championship game, and there's no way he will be at full strength.
It's a tall task. Oh. So that's our early prediction for this. But Sam Darnold may need some recalibrations on the arm nonetheless. And NHL Network is showing the overtime win by the Toronto Maple Leafs over the Philadelphia Flyers thanks to Morgan Riley. Ooh. A little trip from Al-Qadim Muhammad right on Arnold, who's having himself such a strong game. Darnold. Setting up a screen for Jones at the right side. A first down past the 40-yard line and down at the 37. 5 hits and a goal for Matt Nyes on the day for the Leafs. Yanni Gourde is headed to the IR for the Kraken. Well, are they... Oh, please, no. Don't tell me they're getting the card out for Terrion Arnold. Look, he's on the sideline, but that is brutal. On the right, it is Darnold who is getting chased after. Oh, that almost could have been intercepted. Right there on a silver platter for Zadarius Smith, and he dropped it.
That's going to be intentional grounding.
No open receiver in the area, but they're going to get the flag out for intentional grounding on Darnold. But Smith had an interception that he dropped. Oh. For as much of a free fall the Rangers are in right now, the Chicago Blackhawks are a disaster.
Oh yeah, but in the case of the Blackhawks, they should still be in rebuild mode, and they are. Which means before the deadline happens, you take whatever value you have, you sell it. You get picks, you build something.
Definitely. So after this penalty, it's 2nd and 23 off the intentional grounding. Sam Darnold calling for an audible. He has 3 receivers left and 1 to the right. Shotgun set. Here's Darnold. Wyan splits once more. Airs this towards the right side. Jefferson falling down with Robertson. Jefferson's not close to a first down, but gets brought down by Kirby Joseph. 17 yards. So that brings the penalty yardage right back. It will set up 3rd and 6. Wins their one-on-one matchup with Robertson. I get that Jefferson is physical. That's winning the reps one-on-one towards the right side. That time he did, as he took a shake and bake. 7 targets, 3 catches, 54 yards for Jay Jettis. And it's a shotgun set again. Darnold with good protection. Nearly intercepted again. Jumping around that time on that left side to cut off Justin Jefferson was Robertson, who won his taste of revenge, and also Ifeatu Melifonwu, who also jumped the route right in front of Jefferson. It went off of Jefferson and a rare drop for him, and so it'll be the 3rd field goal try for Will Reichard. This is from 51 yards at the right hash. Snap, spot, and kick. And he is free for free. No pressure for the Alabama product.
Yeah, no pressure. Minnesota. Now you see why going for 4th and goal twice was a mistake.
Whew. That time, it bit it. Those 2 times it bit him hard. So, as for around the rest of the NBA and NHL, so there was some discussion about the NHL around. There were some final scores throughout. Well, the Islanders survived a thriller against the Bruins, 5-4 in overtime. Bo Horvat with 2 goals, one of them shorthanded. The second one is the OT winner. There have been multiple 2-goal games here in this matchup between the Islanders and Bruins. Horvat had 2. Anders Lee had 2. David Pastrnak had 2. So we got 3 2-goal games and 2-goal matchups here. Well, the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Pittsburgh Penguins in overtime 4-3 at Lenovo Center. A 3-goal second period with 2 goals from Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho ended it. They catch a fish out the water.
I'm telling you that bunch of jerks. They just keep coming back.
Oh, kind of like William Afton, in a less sinister way.
Wow. Dang, we're really going there, aren't we, Al?
Oh my god. Well, I don't want to risk my voice knowing that I'm sick right now. But if I did, then I would have done the impression.
Oh. He's come back.
Oh, that was more the movie version of William Afton. All right. Yeah. Morgan Riley. As mentioned, he had the overtime winner for the Leafs. Matt Nyes had himself a game with 5 hits and a goal. The first goal of this game. So, in years past in NFC North showdowns, the Lions spoiled the Packers in the Week 18 season finale, 20-16, to knock the Packers out of contention of the playoffs. Dan Campbell and Jared Goff know that all too well. And so, the Vikings will kick to the Lions once more. Which one of these hungry NFC North teams will win the division? The Rangers, they won 6-2. Speaking of them, Philip Keetle scoring twice. 2 assists each from Ryan Lindgren and Will Borgen. Kick is up from Will Reichard. Ducks are up 2-1 on the Lightning, by the way, as this will be a touchback. So now we're underway in overtime. 3-on-3 OT between USA and Finland. This is the third time in 4 years in which the World Juniors gold medal game will be decided in overtime. Kent Johnson, Dylan Gunter, the overtime winners for Canada in their gold medal winning seasons. And USA tried to take one early. Now the Lions with a chance to answer back. Jahmyr Gibbs had the only touchdown of this game. That was back in the first half. Play fake. Goff swings it out left side for Gibbs. Here comes Sonic towards that left side. He has the first down. He beat out Josh Metellus, who functions as both a linebacker and a safety. More of a blitzing safety, that is. 845th career point for Erik Karlsson on his tying goal in the third period for the Penguins. 2nd and 1. They'll say Gibbs got 9 yards on that first carry. On the catch and run. Goff hands off this time towards the right and getting swallowed up, but an extra push for the first down was Gibbs. Penny Sewell helps him from behind. It'll be first down. So even with Knuckles on the IR, they're getting a lot of help from the other ones. From the other cast. Airs this towards the right side is Goff, and that is Laporta. Hauled down out of bounds. USA can end it. What in the world?
What? Oh, my bad.
Oh, good. But Finland just made an incredible save in overtime.
I was gonna say, if so Jahmyr gets the Sonic, David Montgomery is Knuckles. So is Craig Reynolds big?
I thought we would be getting. I sort of thought Craig Reynolds. I thought talking in cast of Sonic characters. I thought Amon-Ra St. Brown is Tails, Sam Laporta is Shadow, you have Jameson Williams as Silver. But I don't know who is who, but this is too much food for thought.
Yeah.
2nd and 3. Right after that first play on the catch and run from Laporta. Run out the middle, and there's Sonic with another first down. He finds his way up through at the Lions logo. They'll mark it a first down. It's marked down by one of the officials on Brad Rogers' crew. Andrew Van Ginkel was the first man on. So that was a run up to the middle. One of the sequences in which the Lions are used to. First down here at the Viking 49. Motion left is Jamo. Play fake. Goff is pursued by Van Ginkel, and up and over goes Jamo. Byron Murphy Jr. blew him up. So far as 11 interceptions for Goff on the season. but that was a loss of 5 yards as Murphy blew up Gibbs, the former Arizona Cardinal. On his first Pro Bowl selection this season, has a solid reputation as the Cardinal CB1. 2nd and 15. All the way to the right side goes Laporta. And a timeout, or a flag actually, is brought down. Maybe a false start. It is. Taylor Decker. So Taylor Decker, the longtime left tackle for the Lions, got his first taste of playoff action last year. Call for that false start. 5th penalty against the Lions on the night. USA intent on ending this in overtime. They have the majority of the shots here, 35-22. What a great game this is. And a save. Goff towards the middle. Caught and holding on to it. That was Sam Laporta as he survived a bunch of contact from 3 Vikings defenders, including Cam Bynum, the tackler. And Craig Reynolds, who picked up the blitz up for the middle, was responsible for that one. Over the middle as Goff was on point to Laporta. Brian Flores' defenses like to blitz a lot. That they did. This time, it didn't go their way. Goff having thrown 2 interceptions, but the Lions are still leading. 10-9. Vikings send 4. Goff to the middle. First down. Past the 30-yard line. It is the sun god, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 4th catch of the night. 66 yards for St. Brown. Another blitz that was picked up through the middle. Nearly was tipped by Kamu Grugier-Hill. Goff will look over the middle. Another catch. This time it's Williams. Williams gets hauled down after 5 yards. He was running from left to right. Van Ginkel spotted him. Past the 5-minute mark in overtime between USA and Finland. Winner takes gold. Van Ginkel with 11.5 sacks, tied for 4th in the NFL. Entering this game was tied with TJ Watt in that category. 2nd and 5 here. They're at the Viking 23.5-yard line. Single back is Gibbs. For the left, Jahmyr Gibbs. Sonic gets an extra push. On a way for a first down in front. The question is, did he get that? They're going to take a look at this. He may be spotted short. But this has not been the TJ Hawkinson revenge game that some have anticipated. 3rd and inches here for the Lions. And Dan Campbell has already used up 1 challenge. If he loses this challenge, he will no longer be able to challenge again. And it will not be a Dan Campbell challenge. Instead, the replay center initiate the review and have determined that Gibbs got a first down. It was close, but spot positioning was right on point with where he was. Oh, wow. 9 plays down in this drive. This drive spanning more than 5 minutes already. This will be the 10th play. The Lions are in the red zone now. For the right side is Gibbs with protection. Gets 3.5 yards for being hauled down by Blake Cashman, the former Houston Texan. On their right side. 4:23 left to go in this 3rd quarter. The Lions holding on to a narrow 10-9 lead. And Cashman leading the team in tackles with 104. 8 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, and 8 passes defense. He knows how to get the job done with Minnesota. And Houston, for that matter as well. 2nd and 7. Motioning around is Laporta. Fake toss play over to the left side. St. Brown gets by 2 Vikings. before being hauled down by Harrison Smith. The longtime stalwart of the Vikings. Less than 4 to go. You want to know what the game plan could be on this next play for the Lions, what they would want to do. 3rd and 4. And it's a single back set. Trip formation left as well. Running play for Gibbs. Gibbs does not get the first down. The Vikings hold firm. It'll be 4th and 1.5 yards. Interesting decision here if you're Dan Campbell, but he is not one to shy away from going for it on 4th and short. USA has won gold in the World Juniors for the 2nd straight year, by the way. And the Lions, they're going for it on 4th and 2. Of course, Dan Campbell wants to go for it. Here it is over the middle. Wide open. Touchdown. Sonic the Hedgehog on the way home in Detroit. Lucky number 13. Sonic has 2. Another touchdown grab for Gibbs as he fights his way home. Over the middle on the angle route. Good little Texas route for the Lions. And Jake Bates makes this an 8-point game here at the Motor City. 17-9, the Lions lead. To tie it, the Vikings need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But it's Jahmyr Gibbs who brings the Lions up by 8. And a job well done. We'll go to break.
So, Alex, something I wanted to... Have you been aware of the just absolute tire fire that is FS1?
Oh, yeah, I read the allegations of Skip Bayless and Joy Taylor. Boy, oh, that is not good.
I'm just praying that nothing comes out about the guys on First Things First. You know, Nick Wright, Kevin Wiles, Bruce Broussard. Just please, fellas, please have kept your noses clean. You are the only reason that anyone watches FS1 anymore.
Please.
Please.
It would just...
Please.
I'm just praying that nobody from First Things First gets involved in this fiasco. I don't want this to happen to any of them. Not Nick Wright.
I don't think any of them are because I don't know. See, Skip Bayless, I could see being a part of this, and and rumors were swirling about Miss Taylor for like, it was off and on, and I mostly dismissed them because, people like to talk, but yeah, just craziness.
Just praying that this doesn't get any worse.
Yeah.
So they're premiering a new Law and Order around. Oh, so the Lions up 17-9. The big question if the Lions can hold on to this one. And the Ducks just beat the Lightning 4-1. Shocker.
So where do the Ducks stand?
16-18-4. They're playing competitively, to say. And they just extended Frank Vetrano.
Right, but they're, my St. Louis Blues are at 500 or one game below now, and it's
I don't know what to say.
yeah, I mean, it's they can look like absolute world beaters against some teams, and then they'll go and lay an egg against a Columbus Blue Jackets.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
See, the Vikings, they want to answer back. The game winner from USA being Teddy Stiga on a pass from Zeev Boyum. 5-hole, 4-free in OT. Back-to-back gold medal for the first time in the World Juniors from the Americans. Toss play. Jones to the right. Has a hole, but quickly wrapped up on the legs by Jack Campbell. Now, Jones did exit the game earlier with an injury, but he has been given the all-clear to return by medical staff. In his absence, Cam Akers set the Vikings up at and goal territory, but the Vikings could not get anything. Lions blitz. Darnold being chased towards the right side, fires it towards the right, finds a wide open man. It's Jalen Naylor. First down and then some for Minnesota. Right to the secondary, 27 yards. A flag down is likely going to be on the Lions. And Brad Rogers will sort it out. They're pointing towards the Lions side, and they're saying that Kevin O'Connell will decline. Smart decision by Kevin O'Connell. The penalty was on Ifeatu Melifonwu, fourth-year man from Syracuse. But how Naylor found himself open on a blown coverage, you don't do that. But good things come for the Michigan State product. Oh, shout out to our good friend Patrick Rutsch.
Yes, sir.
Jones, left side, 3 yards. But that time Jones, the former Packer, that time gets 3 yards on that run to the left side. Aaron Glenn's defense being a top run defensive unit against the pass. They've been on the downturn with all the injuries. 10 rushes, 45 yards for Jones, though. Darnold being pressured. Finds a wide open Josh Oliver. Gets blown up by Melifonwu. Could not keep his feet upright. 2 yards he is limited to. And Sam Darnold has a sub 500 completion percentage in this game. 14 of 31 entering this 3rd and 4 play. Oof. The free signs being held up at Ford Field. Jones is taken off the field. The Vikings are free at 10 on 3rd down. They need to up those numbers. And they desperately must take any measure to improve there. Jay Jett motions left. Darnold will hold on to it. Towards the middle. Gets through Hawkinson. No flag. Incomplete. Alex Anzalone in coverage. Almost thought for sure that was going to be pass interference on Anzalone, but there was no flag on the play. Little Texas route as Anzalone turned away from the ball at the last moment, and he got a hand on Hawkinson's arm. I'm sorry, but I felt that should have been a penalty. Reichard made one for the right hash from 51. This was going to be from 52. And the sideline may be signaling something. Nothing there, so the clock is reset. 28 seconds. They'll say 51 yards for this field goal, not 52. Snap, spot, and a kick for Reichard. He missed it wide right.
Vikings kickers missing field goals. Oh boy.
The hope is that Reichard can at least fix the kicking issues for the Vikings. But the rookie still has a long way to go before being up there with the league's elite. That's the 6th time he's missed a field goal this year.
Okay, so Vikings defense needs to come up with another clutch stop, and then the Vikings offense needs to switch around their play calling. I suggest going heavy in the run.
Dump off left for Gibbs. That's a first down, and he is having at least 15 yards on the swing pass left. So right on cue, it was a de facto run. However, it was a catch and run towards the left side on the swing pass for Jahmyr Gibbs right in front. So there you go, Ian.
I was talking about the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings. Oh, all right.
Yeah, but so where do we go from here?
So yeah, after free, the Lions lead 17-9 in the battle for the NFC North. Winner will have home field advantage for the entire NFC playoffs. Loser will start the playoffs at Los Angeles, taking on Matthew Stafford's Rams.
Yeah. And in other news, the Golden State Warriors are getting absolutely annihilated by the Sacramento Kings, further supporting my claim that the Warriors are absolute frauds.
Well, if you want to put it this way, for their championships, every single time the Warriors won a championship in the Steph Curry era, Kendrick Lamar dropped an album. So, I'm not saying they will win it this year, but if they do, then I guess I have to call them Kendrick Lamar merchants.
Yep.
Well, the Thunder did win over the Celtics and the defending champions.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are on a roll. With Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being the fuel. And Chet might not be back, but with the way that SGA is playing, this team may be the team to beat in the West. 33 for Shai. One of the best games that he has played so far. But what else is new for that? And speaking of my guys, we beat the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh, something to get your confidence up. 33 for Jalen Green. Love that for our guys. This wasn't the low-scoring defensive game that we would normally have, but this was rather more of a high-scoring offensive duel. Kind of like we just beat the Lakers in their own game. And that's with Anthony Davis racking up 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Right? Fourth quarter is set to get underway from Motown. Lions have the ball. They're in the all-black uniforms. Vikings with the all-white uniforms. And some old chariots from the old, and some old cars from the old Ford Model Ts. Goff under pressure, gets it off to a wide-open Laporta. Wants to go in on Ivan Pace. Gets 12 yards before Pace wrapped him up on the foot. Once again, Sam Laporta is getting hot. That's his 6th catch, and he's up to 56 yards. Vikings setting 5. Quick throw. Oh, that almost was picked. Andrew Van Ginkel read the screen towards the right side. Almost had a pick 6 right for him. That would have been Goff's 3rd pick of the day. Oh, he had it. But he played that one perfectly. That's what Brian Flores' defense would have had. Lions stay alive here with this ball. Laporta motioning all the way to the right. For the middle. That's Goff's bread and butter. 3rd and short. as it was the sun god Amon-Ra St. Brown through the middle. It's just so confusing that Goff lost the game when throwing 5 touchdowns and no picks. Goff won a game throwing 5 picks and 2 touchdowns. Confusing at its finest. The Vikings did blitz this time around, and now the Lions don't get 2 tight ends, second tight end being Shane Zylstra. Vikings blitz again. On 3rd down, through the middle, another catch. That will set the Lions up right by the 15-yard line, and it is Jahmyr Gibbs, or rather Jameson Williams. Jamo lighting the lap here and putting on a light show. So is Gibbs as he gets hit by Harrison Smith. Not exactly horrible Harry. That's a nickname given to Harrison Phillips. But Gibbs is wanting to get more touchdowns here. First downs 18-11 in favor of Detroit. On the 53rd play for the Lions. Left side is Gibbs. Gibbs splits the gap. Let it rain. He has a hat trick. And may it be filled with chili dogs.
Well, hey Alec, I'm going to count the chickens. This game's over.
Well, never say never. Yeah, so to speak.
Yeah, no, unless Sam Darnold goes God mode and their defense comes up with one more stop. No.
You love tight ends that can block. Bates nails the extra point. Was just about to miss. Whistles blow in. The extra point will count. The lead is now 15. But Jahmyr Gibbs, with one of the best showings that he has had on the season. 3 touchdowns in total. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. In total, it is 101 scrimmage yards for Gibbs as we go to break a minute 54 in. So, around through the NBA, the Jazz, they've won 2 straight games. Though the Magic, they've had injury woes as of late. No Franz Wagner, no Paolo Banchero, and no Jalen Suggs. That has to sting for any team when your top 3 options are all out with injury. Ouch.
OKC still doing their thing. Sacramento putting belt to behind. Oh, that game just finished. Sacramento Kings beat Golden State Warriors 129-99. Top scorers for the Kings. Well, the top 2 scores for the Kings are Malik Monk with 26 and Domantas Sabonis with 22.
That's not to mention the Aaron Fox's influx with the Kings, and if nothing improves from here, there could be some more trouble. Malik Monk with 26 points, 12 assists, and 4 steals. Sabonis with 13 rebounds and 7 assists to add to his 22 points. But this was a get-right victory at every turn for the Kings. So, as I'm looking through, the Patriots won. That means they're out the number 1 pick. That honor goes to the Tennessee Titans now. 24-9 in this 4th quarter. So there's no pressure on that right leg on Terrion Arnold. Immediately, Arnold was carted off. That injury does not look good. But the question is, his foot. Arnold is questionable to return. He was initially carted off. Pat O'Connor is out for the rest of this game with a calf injury. Vikings trying to get something out of this. The Lions trying to clinch home field advantage for the entire NFC playoffs if they win. They clinch the NFC North, the top seed, and a first round bye with a win. Bates will send this one all the way down to Ty Chandler, who is waiting all the way back. He will not return it. It will go to the back of the end zone. Alex Anzalone being a ferocious leader and one of the toughest players on the field. And he's leading the way for the Lions as their top linebacker. Playing smart with the football and making smart coverages all throughout. Easily playing his best football. 32.5 points per game allowed through weeks 14 through 17, which is tied for second most in the NFL. But this week was the get-right game for Aaron Glenn's defense. They've allowed just 9 points. Vikings need 2 touchdowns, an extra point, and a 2-point conversion. Toss to the right for Akers. Reverses direction. Counters and gets free. Towards the left side. Anzalone had a broken forearm on November 17th. But he quoted on his Instagram story, "Everyone wants to be a dog until you have something to say, and someone to talk shh." Or so it goes. It's 2 yards for Akers. Lions blitz. Airing it out for Akers. Akers gets free on the screen pass towards the left. Joseph and Anzalone were both there. Got a safety and a linebacker in on Cam Akers, a Super Bowl champion with the Rams. 4.9 yards per play for the Vikings, 5.5 for the Lions. Now, third down, this is something that the Vikings actually have struggled with. Third down and 5. Third down conversions have not been a strong suit here so far. 3 catches, 54 yards for Justin Jefferson as Cam Akers is motioning left on a trips formation towards the left. Here is Darnold, who is looking over at the pocket under pressure. Rolls out towards the right side. He'll just throw this one away. There is a flag down in the meantime, and Anzalone's upset. So you get John here on board. USA, how about it?
Teddy Stiga calls ball game. He scores 5 on Rippin'. So I'm just going to join you guys in progress. It'll be a really good night over the last few weeks for the city of Detroit all across the United States, especially if the Lions can end up getting this one too, because now the Red Wings are all of a sudden starting to win games. I'm getting excited.
You have it. What was it, Ian?
Sorry. I said amazing.
Oh boy. And there's another defensive injury. If you're placing your bets on this being an injury for the Lions, just a sarcastic clap because Levi Onwuzurike is down. Terrion Arnold questionable to return with a foot injury. He was carted off, but Onwuzurike is slowly limping.
I'm about to do my best Will Smith impersonation.
No, you are not real. Like you said it right, Alec. And again, I won't jump into the football play-by-play because I don't know enough to be able to tell you all that. But you're right, exactly. I mean, if you're rolling dice, everything is going to come up snake eyes as far as the Lions and injuries. And again, they played for this as far as a chance to be able to get the bye in the playoffs, and they need. I don't know how healthy they can get within a couple of weeks, but they got to have it.
There's a realistic possibility these two teams meet in the divisional round as Cam Akers gets the screen pass and gets shoestring almost immediately by Amik Robertson, the former Las Vegas Raider. Towards the right side. The swing out. But of course, the playoffs have mostly been determined. AFC side is set. We just need this game to be determined for who will get the number 1 seed and the number 5 seed. Winner takes the number 1. Loser goes to Los Angeles and takes the number 5. 2nd and 9. Here's Darnold. Having himself a very rough game. Towards the middle. Popped in and out. TJ Hawkinson, who wanted to have a revenge game tonight, is not getting his wish.
You kind of wonder what that thought process would be be right for T.J. Hawkinson, for the former Lion. He got a lot of money to go there to Minnesota. It certainly looked like he got locked up by Brian Branch.
Yeah, he sure did. Very good coverage.
I thought that Hawkinson got traded to the Vikings.
Yeah, he did.
Well, again, no, I get that. I'm just saying, again, you want to be able to make all that money and this and that and be a prime-time guy. You think for the Detroit Lions, there's motivation to shut him down.
Under duress is Darnold, and he goes down. On third down, that's going to kill the drive. Onwuzurike is back, but it's Al-Quadin Muhammad for Aaron Glenn's defense, and Aiden Hutchinson is pumped up.
It's just good to see him on the sideline. You're not kidding, Alec. That was a complete shutdown. And again, as you talked about, it's really just all field goals here. Darnold not able to get anything going in this game.
And he's the front runner for Comeback Player of the Year as well. And he should deserve it at every turn, knowing the season he's put up. 14 wins in its first year with the Vikings. The most wins for a quarterback who's in their first season with a different team. As Ryan Wright, who sends it off back deep, is Khalif Raymond at the left side. Shake and bake towards that left sideline, and he returns this to the 26-yard line, where the Lions will begin their next drive with 10:13 left in the fourth quarter.
So, actually, John, things really are coming up in Detroit because I just took a look at the NBA standings, and while they are on the fringes, your Detroit Pistons are one win away from being 500, and they currently hold a play-in position.
Yeah, I was a little bit wind out of the sails there for Cole Anthony, who tried to dive at the ball. I understand it happens. That's so unfortunate with Jaden Ivey. But you're right. I mean, it's amazing. You can talk about it in between J.B. Bickerstaff. You can talk about it in between Todd McClellan, who, thank God, I have to say it that way, Alec, again, and Ian, that you bring in some competent coaching into the team and how much that might change some things.
You know, Todd McClellan is one of those guys that he, in a way, he's kind of like Bruce Boudreaux. Overall, his reputation is suspect, but if there's one thing he can do is take a bunch of young talent and get them organized enough to become a functional unit that wins.
Think about it with the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings, right? You turn some of that kind of stuff around. You go, as you said, get those units, get them organized. I heard some of the things in practice when you had Derek Lalonde here, that the Red Wings would only practice for 40 minutes at a time. I mean, gentlemen, it takes 25 minutes to go out and warm. What are you doing for the last 15 minutes? You guys aren't even structured, and that's what I was seeing with the with Detroit Red Wings. I got the U.S. on the brain, but with the Red Wings. And then I'm thinking about it too and saying, hey, there's a lot of heat on Yzerman and some of the free agent acquisitions that have worked and have not worked out. And I agree, there's been some heat, and there should be some heat. But also, I just don't think Derek Lalonde was ready for the big time as far as the coaching position. So he can be really good as an assistant coach, and that's fine. But I wonder if he just needed to stay in his lane.
As an assistant coach, you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fits him better right now. I think it was a little too early for him as a head coaching role, and it was evident in his tenure with Detroit.
Yeah. That's all I can say. I don't have anything wrong against him. I think about Todd McClellan with him sitting there. I was thinking about the same thing with Jim Montgomery. I know Alec's going to get set to take this over. I'll just be happy to see when this is done because the Lions need this bye, but you take it away.
Here's Gibbs. This is going to be a huge run for him. He already has a hat trick, two rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. This one goes for 47 on the run.
What's the status, Alec, on David Montgomery? Do you know?
He has a chance to return in the playoffs, and he may likely be aiming for a playoff return. His MCL sprain does not need surgery.
Okay, good, because in the mix between him and Jahmyr Gibbs, I can't really think of a better duo as far as the running back side, but just kind of the thunder and lightning there, and just the ridiculous amount of speed and elusiveness that Gibbs showed there. That was nice.
What's the power of Montgomery? hence why they are nicknamed Sonic and Knuckles. Here's Gibbs, goes up and over on this carry right after, gets 3 yards on this play.
But Alec, just honestly, as you're going through this, any sort of shock when you're looking at the scoreboard right now for Minnesota?
I would, because I expected this to be tighter. But yeah, I'm seeing the Lions imposing their authority on the Vikings.
19 touchdowns for Gibbs. I don't think I could have ever foresaw that either.
I thought that Detroit's defense would be compromised a bit, but I will say that Chris Collinsworth, he made a point. I was listening to a little bit of the broadcast. He made the point that it seemed that Detroit keyed in on the fact that Darnold holds on to the ball a little too long before making throws, and the pass rush would be able to use that against him.
And that's what's happening right now, Ian, about using the fact that Darnold holds onto the ball a little too long and turned that to the Lions' favor. That previous play, Gibbs ran for 10 yards on the right side. It's a first down. Towards the left goes Laporta. Here's another running play for Gibbs. He's trying to eye for 20 touchdowns on the season. He gets 5, but he wants that 20th touchdown. Right behind him is James Cook, who has 18 among the touchdown leaders. 7:31 to go here in the fourth quarter. Detroit leading 24-9. I thought it would be never say never, but if this is another touchdown, just this game basically is over. Craig Reynolds is in the game now, entering the backfield. 2nd and 5, with 1 left and 3 right. Play fake here for Reynolds. Goff rolls out, being chased down by Tillery. Goff. And he gets hustled out. One of the officials just tossed his hat. So this will be a de facto sack from Jonathan Bullard, but not much damage there for the Lions. It'll be 3rd and about 9.
Now, even a field goal, Alec, would be devastating for Minnesota. They got to find a way to get a stop.
Anything. Because this defense is getting gashed by Jahmyr Gibbs at every turn. He's just toying with the Vikings tonight. Here it's 3rd and 9. Goff towards the middle, and there's a stop. Limit the Lions to just 7. They needed 9, with Sam Laporta getting another catch. It's 4th and 2, and knowing Dan Campbell, he's not afraid to shy away from going for it on 4th down.
I was thinking the same thing here, Alec. Even in a game that might already be over and points can really put it away, Dan always rolls the dice, and he loves going for it no matter what.
Dan Gambler. And 4th and 2, of course, he's going to roll the dice and see if this goes rolling at 12, or will it be snake eyes if we're going on this gamble. Oh, the Vikings are trying to bunch up the line. There's a jump. That may be a first down. Flags are out. Who is this going to be on? They're pointing towards the Vikings direction, the Lions are, and fans are cheering because there may have been a jump.
Oh boy, that one looked pretty obvious. And the Lions are able to point that one out, as you said. That would be a gift. And that would essentially end this game where the Lions can take as much time as they want to and then score and then, as you said, write the story to this season here. Again, it was the first time, and then the Lions get to finish it at home, but it's the first time they ever went undefeated on the road, I was told, as well. So, a lot of history here. I know what this team wants at the very end, but I do have to say this is plain as day. It might be homerism or not, but it's just good to see competitive football, because for a long time, with the Lions, that was not happening in a lot of people's lifetimes.
Not since the pre-Super Bowl era, so the Lions are this good.
This offense, I think, is going to be together for a long time. As you said, now 1st and goal, you get set to take it away.
So it's a free first down off jumps from 3 separate Vikings, including Harrison Smith. Here's Gibbs. Could it be 20 for him? Trying to power his way through. The second effort. And there it is! His 20th touchdown of the season! Jahmyr Gibbs! The hat trick wasn't enough. Gotta include some chili dogs and rings on it if you're Sonic the Hedgehog.
Man, oh man. Again, if we talk about David Montgomery, was that David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs? Because you could have fooled me on that one. What an excellent second, third effort to power that one in and say goodbye to Minnesota for the top seed. They'll have to get the wild card. It's kind of crazy that the way that this is going. As you mentioned alongside Alec, I know you talk about it in the broadcast, that one of these teams is going to fall the 5th seed considering what their record is. That almost seems unbelievable.
14-3. Just imagine it as Bates nails the extra point and this crowd at a frenzy, and Chauncey Billups is in attendance, John.
Awesome. Again, he will be in the building tomorrow when the Pistons and Trailblazers play each other, so why not take in the game? And that was a heck of a push, I believe, for Penei Sewell.
So, Alec, I'm probably going to have to leave before the broadcast is over. I don't know, but so I'm going to make the pick now. With the way the Vikings play tonight, when they face the Rams, Matthew Stafford will stick it to the Vikings one more time.
Knowing Stafford's reputation for coming in the clutch, I think there's a realistic opportunity that Stafford can dissect this Vikings defense.
Yeah. Hey John, how often would Stafford make the Vikings miserable?
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter where the Rams are. Again, I can say it, he could be bitter or not, and I'm not. Matthew Stafford gave everything. He could absolutely dissect them, and the Rams could play a big spoiler. I'm just hoping that I don't have to see Matthew Stafford here again, because I'd be worried if I'm a Lions fan.
All 3 of the Vikings losses, after how it's trending right now, has involved the Lions or a player who used to play for the Lions. Isn't this kind of funny?
It's poetic in a way, and again, you can never talk about motivations enough, especially in the NFL, but yeah, he's one of those guys, as Ian mentioned, alongside Alec. I don't know. Stafford? You always have a chance. Come on, dude.
And we apologize for the background noise on Ian's side. But go on ahead, John. What were you saying again?
No, I said, again, you can never count out Stafford and all that. And again, I apologize, Alec, on my side, too, that I can't give you much of the NFL call and bring so much to you. But I was happy to join you. And I will say this, I'll be here all the way through. And I know you said you were under the weather, but honestly, I can't tell. I think you're feeling better.
I mean, this has been going on for this. I felt out the cell over earlier on this month, but I guess compared to yesterday, I think it's better.
Good. I'm glad to see you're on the mend, because I know when we get a little bit closer through some of the things, I don't want to jump into your NFL playoff games, but I know we'll have to probably catch up on some NHL games as well, because the standings have moved quite a bit. We got 5:14 left to go here in this 4th, but this game is over. It's 31-9 Lions. I saw the spread going into this was 2.5, Minnesota getting points. I thought this game was going to be closer. I thought Minnesota would find a way to at least keep this within, 7 to a field goal, Alec, but Detroit punched them right in the mouth.
It would take a flashback here to when Justin Jefferson was playing college ball. For Amik Robertson, he was playing college ball at Louisiana Tech from 2017 to 2019. This is the one-on-one matchup that's being profiled, and it seems safe to say that even for Jay Jettis' heroics here and every day for the Vikings, I think this matchup is a victory for Robertson and locking up Jefferson.
Yeah, you have to say that, as hard as it is.
Yeah, it is.
Probably still the best receiver of football.
Immediate catch, immediate tackle. TJ Hawkinson wrapped up by Alex Anzalone as Brad Holmes looks onwards from upstairs, the executive vice president and GM of the Lions. And all of Detroit celebrating on their way to getting the top seed in the NFC. and a potential hosting of a playoff game against either Washington, Tampa Bay, and Washington, Minnesota, or Green Bay, depending on who they face. It's Darnold. He scrambles. He'll reach out for the first down. 4:35 to go here as he runs it out of bounds. Now stop the clock because we're inside the final 5. 9 yards exact. What's it?
I'm going to post a tree. I'm going to post something from Tree in response to the USA's victory. You know what it is.
Oh, it's that one soldier TF2 meme. That TF2 soldier, of course. Aaron Jones to the right of Sam Darnold. Here's Darnold, play fake, and whoa, this play was blow dead because they did not get the playoff on time. Delay of game. A penalty that may be meaningless because the game is already over. But come on, at least let the Lions celebrate with dignity.
Yeah, I don't even think, I know as a Lions fan, you could say this and you want to say someone get absolutely crushed, but you would expect that this game would be a little bit more competitive, but this is a little bit of a humble moment, I imagine, for Minnesota. And as Ian mentioned, going on the road, I don't think that that's going to be easy. I wouldn't say tail between their legs for Minnesota, but they got to take whatever they did today, Alec, and throw it down the toilet.
They just need to discard the film for this game. Period.
Since this game is over, I'm going to share one of the most ridiculous basketball takes I've seen this season.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Let's be honest. A healthy Joel Embiid would easily lock up and continue to prime Shaquille O'Neal.
Get out of here.
I feel stupid just reading
Oh.
and just
Oh my God.
for evidence that this is a real take in the Jumbotron, gentlemen.
Stop. Look. Just stop.
Alex, you're covering for a sickness and you're making him cough here. We'll make sure he's alive for this last 424. I want to see this this title clinched.
Well, that is blasphemous at its own end. Look, as Kendall Vildor was responsible for a defensive hold that negated a deep shot incompletion for Jalen Naylor. He had the last catch. Product of Michigan State. Play fake as Darnold. He'll hold on to this one. Oh, that is low. I don't think this was ever a completion for Hawkinson. Or they say he caught it. It was low, but Hawkinson adjusted right on time. That's got to be very close. He got it out of the ground and up. Wow.
Yeah, he's got it, Alec, just before it hit the ground. You're right. That's a catch for TJ.
There you go. And now the officials are going to huddle up. Dan Campbell is going to use his second challenge flag to review this. Now, it may be all but over here, but every play could be subject to a potential review for future discussions on what a catch is. Of course, this play may be no different if this ball survived the ground, but it might be... Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, by the way, now as a Chiefs fan, we have to deal with another allegation. Quote, we threw the game so the Bungles wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Get out of here with that. It's strategy all throughout. No need to play your starters in in a game that does not have any significance for the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Be real. If the Lions had already locked up the one seed and you didn't have to play your starters, you would have sat. Sorry, not you, but the Lions would have sat everybody. Well, I say that, but their coach is Dan Campbell.
No, you're right. I would be, if it was me personally, I'd be going right next to the Motor City Casino and asking them if they want to put on a Lions jersey and a mustache. I mean, that's exactly the same thing for the Chiefs. Of course you're not playing any starters.
Of course not. There's nothing to play for. And even for all those accusations, those have no substance at all.
No.
That the Broncos won fair and square. Even with them having something to play for. Despite the fact the Chiefs resting their starters.
Yeah.
So the Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask, the Broncos are in now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All they needed was a win. For the Bengals, they needed not only a win, but also the Broncos and the Dolphins losing. One of the two happened, and on the terms of losses, that was only the Dolphins losing. The Broncos steamrolled the Carson Wentz Chiefs.
Yeah, you get it.
So now they're showcasing playoff previews on the future matches. Well, it's a bummer for me that I won't be casting one of the Sunday games because I'm honestly looking forward to that Commanders Buccaneers game on Sunday night. And the fact is, I'm actually going to, I may have set this out earlier before, but that same day on Sunday, I'll be going to a Hurricanes game.
That's pretty cool, Alec. You can't pass up that opportunity.
It's even more special since Eric Stahl have his jersey number retired.
Oh, that's a jackpot one, Alec. You're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun on that night. So the calls reversed here. So the catch is nullified on TJ Hawkinson. The ball is out. Batted up and recovered by Josh Paschal on a catch that was picked up by the Lions.
Unbelievable. Honestly, I could have thought, we looked over, I thought that was going to be a catch. And here again, Lions get another takeaway. I guess Minnesota only has to deal with another 4 minutes and 9 seconds of misery. My goodness.
Oh, my goodness. So they'll rule it a catch and a fumble on Justin Jefferson. He got his second foot down. The fumble forced by Kendall Vildor. This game, which is all but over, just more insult to injury here.
Yeah, you're right, Alec. And that's a really good play for Vildor. Get his hand right on the ball as Jefferson's trying to turn around and get some little rack yards there. He can't do it. Knocked right out of his hands.
Hey, John, I just thought of something else. I just thought of something else we can laugh at. Hey Packers. Wait, Packers? Are you telling me that you guys lost to the Bears?
They did lose to the Bears. Was seating on the line for Green Bay tonight?
Yes.
Yes, they are now the 7th seed and the Commanders are the 6th seed.
So the Eagles host Green Bay, the Bucs host Washington in the end. So the ruling has been reversed. Justin Jefferson can breathe a sigh of relief. But I thought for sure that was a forced fumble by Vildor. And this one is for real this time. Ball rolls around. Lions following it, but they're going to roll it incomplete for a second straight time as Anzalone thought he recovered a fumble.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Alec. I didn't mean to jump over you on that one because I thought Mahone had it too. But that one was just a wounded duck type of pass. And am I seeing this right? Darnold's 18 for 40?
Yeah, you're not... This isn't a typo. Darnold is 18 of 40 on the night for 166 passing yards. And even for him being comeback player of the year, this is easily his worst performance of the season.
He's gone full pumpkin.
And there is a flag down. I think this will be on the Vikings.
I was going to say, Cinderella with the glass slipper and the pumpkin, all that stuff. So it's the clock struck midnight on the Minnesota Vikings.
It seems. And going on the road to face the Rams, well, normally 14-3 teams wouldn't have trouble with this, but I think the Vikings are sniffing trouble against the Rams.
I agree with both of you gentlemen on that one. Honestly, as crazy as it is, I know you guys know a lot more than I do. I'd favor the Rams.
you know?
Definitely.
Of course, I would.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Alec, I gotta get out of here, but John will help close out the broadcast. Thank you, John, and I will join you guys for the next broadcast, whatever that may be.
Take care, my friend.
Take care, Ian. 4th and 15, aired out, and off the pressure, Darnold could not survive it, and that's 18 of 41 for Sam Darnold. The Vikings turn it over on downs. This defense has been relentless on the night.
That's the other thing for me, Alec. And again, I come to this not knowing as much, and I know the starters. There's about 15, 16 starters out of defense. You got Aiden Hutchinson's been out for a while. Who knows if they made the Super Bowl, if he would come back off those kind of injuries? I doubt it, because you need the longevity of his career. But you had those shootout games the last couple of weeks, right, with the Lions. Can't stop anybody. And I just thought there would be more of a pulse than this for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, this is brutal.
That is just bad looking for the Vikings. We were thinking more from him, Sam Darnold, that is, as Jameson Williams runs for another first down and another flag comes out. 31-9 is the Lion lead with 4:03. It appears there will be a pass interference on Brock Wright, the tight end, but I don't think the Lions mind anything. This defense, despite all the injuries, they're holding firm. Blitz rate has gone up ever since Hutchinson's injury, and that's where they're thriving on, the blitz rate.
That's what's really surprised me, Alec. And again, I don't think you and I are shocked about the Lions' offense, because I know you have always really good pre-games and all that. Probably profile that the Lions, they're averaging 40-plus pretty much every week. But for them to do this against this team, I know the game is at home, but even if this game was played in Minnesota the way this game is played, I still think the Lions would get a victory.
And they're on their way to sweeping the season series. And Craig Reynolds knows the situation, stays inbounds, risks the tackle, and wants to let the clock run out. So that's smart decision making from Reynolds.
So do we have, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do we have any idea after the bye, maybe who they're showing it right now. So the Lions could play the Rams.
Well, I don't think that happens, but that is if the top three, the other four at the top four seeds win their games on wild card weekend. As Williams gets about 3, he falls and slips though. But the Lions, they'll be hosting either one of these 4 teams. So they'll be hosting either Los Angeles, Minnesota, Washington, or Green Bay, depending on the outcomes of the wild card games. And Minnesota will be going on the road.
Green Bay's pretty interesting. I think that's a pretty good football team, all things considered. Honestly, because they have the quarterback that they do, I really feel like Green Bay is even more of a difficult matchup than Minnesota is, in my opinion.
Jordan Love, don't forget that Love may be dealing with an injury, but nonetheless, he should be good to go for Sunday against the Eagles. Timeout called by the Lions, so they'll stop it with 2:38 to go. So nonetheless, I feel that the matchups I have coming on Saturday and Monday will be set in stone. That I'll be doing Texans and Chargers Saturday. Then Monday will be the Rams and the Vikings, from what it appears to be laid on out.
Well, I might, I don't know how much I'd be able to give to you as far as quality, but I might join you for that Monday game just to see if Matthew Stafford's slicing and dicing. But I'm really interested, and you said it earlier, that Sunday game that they're showing between the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels is legit, and that team is really good.
He is the future of Washington, front and center. We're seeing this right now, and I think there's a realistic chance the Commanders can win a playoff game against the Buccaneers. Hasn't happened in a long time, though, but it's a realistic shot now. Something to make this fan base proud and send them, including their former head coach Joe Gibbs, onto a frenzy.
So the Lions were 3 touchdowns away for the most offensive touchdowns in NFL history. I wonder if that also includes playoffs or if that's just regular season. They sit with 68. The Broncos had 71 in 2013.
That was the MVP year from Peyton Manning when he broke the passing yard single season record. The Lions will take this to the 2-minute warning, and all they can really do now is just run out the rest of the clock. 1 first down can all but ice it.
I don't know, Alec. Some part of me through all of my life watching team go 0-16, 1-15, 2-14, 3-13 in the mix. Futility. You've gone through Martha Ford to Sheila Ford Hamp. The daughter has gotten things right on the right track. I don't know why Brad Holmes decided to go from the Rams to the Lions. Maybe he wanted a new challenge. They bring in Dan Campbell. They got Chris Spielman inside the office, the former Lion Hall of Famer. Everything that they've done to move this organization around has been right. And then the trade that they made in between for Stafford and Goff, I think that also turned into Jahmyr Gibbs as well. Everything is coming up Lions.
Everything is a gem. This is the definition of a win-win trade between Stafford and Goff, given the pieces the Lions got in return and the Super Bowl that Stafford delivered for the Rams his first year with them.
And it breaks my heart a little bit seeing J.J. McCarthy on the sideline. I can't wait to see him get back into action. I wonder if he could push Darnold a little bit if he does get healthy. I don't know. I still think Darnold, you got one bad game, it happens. Minnesota's had a tremendous season, and it's not over yet. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future.
The future is one to watch for J.J. McCarthy. We don't know where things will go with him, but hoping he gets a shot onto the NFL on a full-time basis. This Michigan project deserves something.
I thought, honestly, Alec, for the Maize and Blue, I thought he did a great job under Jim Harbaugh. And then for Harbaugh to go his first year back and take the Chargers into the playoffs, I guess I should have known better.
I mean, he does elevate any team that he goes, college or NFL, between Stanford, the 49ers, Michigan, and now the Chargers. He is doing the job to perfection. And had it not been for the Vikings, I see Harbaugh as Coach of the Year.
I think you're right on the head with that. I think you nailed it alongside that for the Vikings. I think you got to give it to them because considering the quarterback situations, I don't think any of us expected the Vikings to be doing this. Honestly, I forgot Teddy Bridgewater signed back with the Lions.
Yeah, he coached his high school alma mater to a state championship earlier this year, and now he's back with the Lions vying for a Super Bowl. If he wins a Super Bowl with them, this would be a nice feel-good story for him.
Yeah, I always liked Teddy Bridgewater. As the Lions going to run one more play here off the halfback dive, try to fight for first down. It's not going to matter. I don't think they got there, Alec, around the 25-yard line. But the clock's going to run out, and the Lions are going to improve to 15-2. It took that much for them to get a number 1 seed, if you could believe it.
I mean, unbelievable considering prior history with the Lions. Cursed years, wasted seasons. It's all gone to the wayside now. Those years with Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, frustration aplenty with this franchise. The infamous 0-16 year with Dan Orlovsky. Matthew Stafford and the years of being stuck in mud with Stafford being hung out to dry. Then you lead to this with very likely what could be the best coach that the Lions have had in their franchise's history and the best team that they've had in their franchise's history. This is a Lions team that is here and here to stay.
I agree, Alec. I think the longevity is going to be there. Who knows how long the window is going to be, but I think, Alec, we could say for the Lions, probably, 3-4 years? I know they're going to have to start paying Hutchinson and figuring all that stuff out too, but they clinched a number 1 seed for the first time in team history and had 15 wins.
The most in team history as well. This is absolutely amazing from the Lions. On this magical season continues on with home field advantage for the entire NFC portion of the playoffs. Super Bowl aspirations on their mind. We have yet to see how they can carry this out, but this magical season will continue.
Well, I appreciate you giving the call out. Like, I apologize having to join so late because I would have liked to earlier. But we had two headliners today. I know yours went more of a laugher than mine did, but hey, I don't mind it. So we'll see what ends up happening for the Lions after the following week. I'm just happy they get a chance to heal up and I get to enjoy myself for a week.
Good for your Lions. Congratulations on that number 1 seed.
Alec, it's good to hear your voice again. Hopefully you continue to get healthy, and we'll catch up, I'm sure, next week.
Yeah. See you then, John. Catch up with you later.
Sounds good.